In Birmingham, North Carolina over Missouri, 84-70. In Nashville, Ohio State a winner over Appalachian State, 87-61. And in Buffalo, Oklahoma State knocked off Hofstra, 86-66. Coming up next, Pepperdine, Indiana, Lamar, Duke, Arkansas, Miami, South Carolina State, Stanford. We'll start you all in Nashville with Arkansas, Miami, and then get you to the tips of your respective games. All of that coming up right after this word from your local station. Here we go.
Things just don't mix. Like drinking and driving. Before you do this or this or this, you want to have this and this and this.
You'd be surprised how much of our technology goes into your day.
So for this or this or this.
We're Siemens.
We can do that.
For the King of Queens, the address is CBS Monday.
This portion of NCAA basketball is brought to you by your local Ford store.
In 1991, there were 5 sport utilities. The #1 seller, Ford Explorer. Today, sport utilities are everywhere, and Ford Explorer is still #1. The reasons? 4-wheel ABS, V8 engine, control track 4-wheel drive, a reverse sensing system, more cargo room, side airbags, and much more. Now get 3-9 financing or $1,000 cash back on Explorer. One more reason to visit your local Ford store today.
They said you were a giant. I shall cheer for you.
Caesar is proud to give you alien stuff. Win the crowd, and you'll win your freedom.
At my signal, unleash hell.
Gladiator, rated R, starts Friday, May 5th.
In any business, there can be only one priority. At Morgan Stanley Dean Witter, we have never forgotten ours. Not surprisingly, we measure success a little differently. Some see a block of wood. Some a solid bounded by 6 equal squares. Inflexible thought. The world's easiest Rubik's Cube. A way to reach the highest book on the shelf. A television set abandoned on the side of a deserted road. At Expedior, we'll help you look at e-business in entirely new ways. Expedior. Imagine, then soar.
Welcome to Nashville, Tennessee, side of the South Region first round. Our final game, the 11th seed, the Arkansas Razorbacks, arguably the hottest team in the country, winners of the SEC tournament against Miami, co-champions of the regular season in the Big East. Your starters, Alonzo Lane, the outstanding freshman Joe Johnson, Walker, Teddy Gibson, and Blake Edens for Arkansas. John Salmons, Elton Tyler, Mario Bland, the inside strength of this Miami team, along with Johnny Hensley and Vernon Jennings, who led the Big East in assists this year. Our officials for tonight's game, David Hall, Tom Harrington, Vern Harris. Nolan Richardson's 500th game as Arkansas head coach is underway.
It's going to be very interesting to see at the beginning of the game and the pressure that Arkansas is going to put on the Miami Hurricanes to see if they can get back into this game.
Blake Edens just drew iron with the first launch from downtown. This is a Miami team that thrives on half-court defense, an Arkansas team that gets it done with full-court trapping pressure, and you never know where it's going to come from.
Exactly. That's why you're going to have to follow the basic fundamentals. Right there, you can see good ball movement on the defensive side.
Joe Johnson, the move to point guard for him is sort of a point forward. Probably the best move Nolan Richardson made this year. And a turnover. Unforced error that time by Arkansas. Jennings may have gotten away with a walk. On the wing, Hemsley's shot won't fall. Mario Bland, he's got size that could be difficult for the Razorbacks to match up with down low.
Exactly. He's got size, and also he's got mobile size that he's able to move without the basketball and with the ball in his hands.
Alonzo Lane, another 2.5 inches, and he'd be some prospect. 6'7", they refer to him as Baby Shaq, and interestingly, Mario Bland considers himself a Shaq fan as well. He wears a Shaq t-shirt before games. There's Gibson with a player control foul. Teddy Gibson with his first. Joe Johnson can get it done. He's the best freshman arguably in the country.
Well, he's a tremendous and the most versatile player. You know something, ever since he got a chance to come back in off the break, he's been scoring 16 points, averaging 5 rebounds. He's a versatile player for Nolan Richardson's team.
Off the bounce, off the ball, and he'll use the window as well. He's a multi-dimensional talent. Only became eligible in late December, had to get through the NCAA clearinghouse. You wonder how good he might be had he had a preseason to work with.
Well, I tell you what, he hasn't looked back ever since he came from being eligible.
Tough pass, turned over by Johnny Hemsley. Poor pass there, but he is energetic. He really feeds and fans this team in a number of ways.
Well, he's a terrific player. Although he hasn't been shooting the ball well this year, 39%, he definitely has a hair-trigger jumper and has scored 11 times this year, so he can put you in it quickly.
Is the 22nd different starting lineup used by Arkansas this year. So it's a mix-and-match setup for Nolan Richardson, and that's not uncommon for him.
That's not bad also. He's coming at you with pure pressure and also some fresh legs right now.
Blake Edens, a better wing jump shooter than up top. That's his spot right there. Off the front iron this time. Johnson on the offensive glass.
Greg Gumbel in New York. As the evening progresses, we'll keep you updated on Miami and Arkansas. But those of you awaiting the tip in the East Region action in Buffalo, Pepperdine, and Indiana, let's take you to Iron Eagle and Jim Spinarco.
All right, Greg, thank you very much. The road to Indianapolis. Indiana, the 6th seed of the East, taking on 11th seeded Pepperdine, the Waves from the West Coast. A look at the bracket. Temple, Seton Hall, Oklahoma State has already advanced, and now the winner of Indiana Pepperdine waiting in the wings. Hi, everybody. Iron Eagle along with Jim Spinarco. 4th and final game here in Buffalo. And for the 15th consecutive year, Indiana is a part of the NCAA tournament. They have one of the premier players in the nation, A.J. Guyton.
And when Indiana plays well, Guyton usually really leads them in scoring, does a lot of things coming off screens. Pepperdine, on the other hand, will like to go up and down the floor as quickly as possible, get an opportunity to really push it up the floor pretty quickly at their defensive end.
Take a look starting the lineups, and already a change for Indiana. We'll tell you about that. Starting lineups look like this. For the Wave, Kelvin Gibbs, Nick Shepard, Tommy Prince, Brandon Armstrong, and Tazell Archie. And for Indiana, Lynn Washington, Jeffrey Newton getting the start. In for Dane Fife, Kirk Haston, A.J. Guyton, and Michael Lewis. Don't overanalyze the change, because Bob Knight has used 12 different starting lineups this season, and Knight has been in the center of controversy, something we will talk about as we continue along here tonight from Buffalo. Head coach for the Pepperdine Waves, Jan Van Bredikoff, in his first year with Pepperdine, former head coach at Vanderbilt and Cornell. And in his first year with the Waves, he brings this team into the NCAA tournament. Their last appearance, 1994.
And one thing Jan promised us when we had a chance to speak with him yesterday is watch the defenses. They will be switching, they'll be trapping, they'll be doing all sorts of different things with a little bit of pressure on the ball. You can believe it.
Pepperdine, the 11th seed. Indiana, the 6th seed. Mark Whitehead, David Day, and Carl Hess, the officials here tonight. Series note. This is the second meeting all time. Pepperdine won the first. And A.J. Guyton playing in his final NCAA tournament. And Pepperdine able to control the tap. Brandon Armstrong on a kick out. Tommy Prince ball fake. Tried to bounce it to the outside. It's intercepted by Lewis.
Good spot to start. Here Lewis pick up an easy steal, go to the opposite side right off the bat.
Here's Haston. Baseline jump shot gets Indiana started.
This will be an interesting game because of the contrast of styles. Indiana more methodical. Pepperdine up and down.
Brandon Armstrong, if you think that you've seen lefties on the court before, get ready. I don't think you've seen this many at one time.
No, you'll see 4. They have 6 that usually play for them, not all at one time, but it seems that way when you're looking at that many lefties.
4/5 of the starting lineup. Southpaws, and Pepperdine with a 3-2 lead. Indiana retains possession, 23 remaining on the timer. Just under a minute elapsed here in the first half.
Van Bredikoff will signal the defenses also, all the switches.
Here's Newton. Freshman unable to hit, and Prince with a board.
Looking to push. Giselle Archie, the guy who really is the catalyst at the offensive end.
Inside it goes. Nick Shepard gets the run.
Once again, another lefty. I believe that there really is an advantage because defensively you have guys jumping towards the right side of your body when you shoot the ball with your right-handed shooter. And Bob Knight knows about defense as well as anyone in the country as far as coaching is concerned.
His team trailing 5-2 in the early going. 18:52 remaining on the clock. And Indiana gets it inbounds. Michael Lewis, senior, will have to deal with full court pressure. That's the kind of style of play Pepperdine will go with.
And we'll have to read the many different defenses that Pepperdine throws. It's just not the same look all the time. Van Bredikoff likes to switch. See Jan in the background, tall at 6'8", looking him back there, working the defense also.
Lynn Washington backing it out, gives up his dribble. 9 to shoot. Washington looking for the open man. Lewis swings it. Jump shot. Guyton was hit hard. And A.J. Guyton is going to the free throw line as Nick Shepard came out to guard him.
Well, that's the respect they have for Guyton, obviously, focusing in on him. One of the things that Pepperdine will do, they have all these different types of defenses, but they will focus on one guy. And obviously for Indiana, this man right here, Guyton, scoring a little over 20 points a game, is a focus man.
Guyton is in the history books at Indiana, and now Michael Lewis is as well. With an assist on that dish off for Haston, Lewis has become the all-time Indiana leader in assists passing Quinn Buckner. 3 free throws for Guyton, who was hit behind the arc.
Quinn Buckner, a member of a pretty decent team, undefeated Indiana team with the likes of Scott May, Bobby Wilkerson, Kent Benson.
That's your error right there.
A little before my foul. No, that wasn't my error.
Pepperdine leads at 5-4. Here's Armstrong. That lefty jump shot off the rim. Fight for the loose ball, and Shepard lays it home. And the foul.
I'll tell you, you can tell right off the bat there is going to be a lot of action underneath. The lefties are here. Watch the pushing on the left side of your screen. Guys are flying all over the place. I like the enthusiasm to start this game.
First foul on Haston, and they are looking at his right knee on the bench. He has been replaced by Larry Richardson, the talented sophomore from Tennessee, currently out of commission. 5 points for Nick Shepard and an 8-4 lead for Pepperdine. They give it away, Indiana, and here come the Waves. Prince leaning in. Gibbs with a follow. That wouldn't go. It's knocked out of bounds. And Pepperdine will hold on to it.
Pepperdine forces 19 turnovers a night, and when they get it, they try to go with it quickly. There is absolutely no hesitation. You see Prince coming right to the rim, missing the opportunity with the jam, but they try to jam it down the floor at you.
Dane Fife comes into the game for Indiana. Here's Archie controlling, matched up with Lewis. Gibbs with a ball fake. Plenty of time to work with, 18 on the shot clock. Archie, the leaner. Friendly rim.
Good pull-up jump shot also. Get your man moving. Is one thing about the guy with the ball. You know when you're going to stop.
There's Fife putting it on the floor. The cutter is Newton. Lost his footing for a moment. They'll double up on him. Look at the blitz on whoever's handling the ball. 2-3 defenders will move in the direction of the ball handler.
Now, the tempo is set when you look at Pepperdine defensively with that point you just made there, Ian. If they get you in the corners, whether it be at half court with the back court acting as a defender or in the sideline corners, they will double team and double team aggressively. So it's something to watch how Indiana reacts to that.
Craig Lewis into the game for Pepperdine. David Lalazarian as well. And a foul called out front on Lewis trying to defend A.J. Guyton.
Jan Van Bredikoff is working the sidelines. It's interesting. In some of the shots when you have him in there, you can see him in the background really working defensively when his team gets going.
Fife off the double team for Lewis. Fife on a bounce inside with the position of Richardson and the follow. Jeff Newton came flying in.
Well, see, there's a great example of Newton being able to run by himself. Pepperdine closed with 3 and 4 players on the baseline. On this shot is up for grabs and no one there to block out.
Archie penetration. The leaner. Great control of his body as he hung in the air for 2.
The elevation, also the strength in the jump. Now, this is a quick Pepperdine team.
Fife gives it up inside and a foul called as Larry Richardson took it hard to the holes.
They're pushing the ball down the floor. And here's the close. See, 3 or 4 guys coming at you. That means no one's on the weak side. An easy opportunity for Newton to finish it off. Once again, the look, it's almost like an alley-oop, even though it's a shot, but it has the same results.
Second personal foul on Nick Shepard. So the 6'11" senior will take a seat. And we'll see some more changes as Armstrong comes back in and Cedric Suet checks in for the first time. Larry Richardson at the free throw line, 51% this season. And a 12-8 Pepperdine lead. Both of these teams will mix and match different lineups. You'll see a number of changes on the floor from both coaches.
A lot of the sets go towards the left, obviously.
Lewis a 3. Suet trying to tap the ball in the air, but Indiana controls it with Richardson.
Indiana understands. That was a good example just then of the way 5 guys work the defensive glass for Bob Knight's squad.
Here's Fife giving it up for Lewis. Inside, turnaround jump, rimming out for Richardson. Fight for the loose ball that comes out to Pepperdine, and Lewis is on the move.
Pretty good balance defensively, though.
Swinging out Lalazarian. Leaning in. Suet with a follow, and he's fouled.
Looks like it might be Richardson underneath a little bit with the sliding push. But what Pepperdine is doing well as a group, they are tracking the basketball in a sense. When the ball goes towards the basket, big guys are roaming with them and following up on every opportunity.
Pepperdine with a chance to add to its lead. Cedric Suet, though, is a 29% free throw shooter. He's a sophomore from Atlanta, Georgia. Doesn't get the roll on the first.
It's interesting watching kids shoot free throws. His hand doesn't snap towards the basket. It actually snaps towards the right. Instead of doing a straight shot like throwing a dart, he's throwing it just to the right.
Here's Suet. 1 out of 2 and a timeout. 15:39 to play, first half. Pepperdine off to the early lead, 13-8.
Until now, there has been a wall between you and the tools of serious trading. That wall is coming down. The information and technology professionals use to trade is now available to everyone. Daytech Online. The rules are changing.
Do you have the time?
Do you have the energy? Ooh, all those curves and me with no brakes. Is it hot in here or is it just you? Hey, I lost my telephone number. Can I have yours? Hey. Maybe we don't always think before we speak, but Miller Lite and I want to remind you should always think when you drink.
Excuse me, do you have the time?
Yeah.
Your car's been in an accident, and the repairs are taking too long. The problem's not your body shop, it's your insurance company. I can't fix cars, but I can cut the red tape, so my customers get their cars back faster. You're in good hands with Allstate. Mine.
See the USA in your Chevrolet. America's the greatest land of all.
Introducing Chevy Impala. Designed, engineered, and built to be the most carefree car on the road. Let's go for a drive. Impala. We'll be there.
Controversy this week swirling around Bob Knight, head coach at Indiana. Neil Reed, a former player for the Hoosiers, in a report this week claimed that Knight choked him during a practice session in 1997. We had a chance to speak with Knight before his press conference yesterday. He said, hey, listen, I'm not going to answer any of those questions. I'm going to deal with it in the press conference setting. I know you grabbed him one-on-one a little bit later on.
I had an opportunity, Ian, to speak with Bob Knight outside their locker room and talk to him for about 10 minutes or so and talk to him a little bit. And it's not for me to make judgments as to what happened. I was not at that practice. But what I will tell you is that I asked him if he's tired of the distractions. And he said, yes, I am, because he wants to focus on his team and let the focus really be on the team and not him. Unfortunately, his name pops up in the media, with the media quite often.
A jump ball off the Newton miss. And Indiana will hold on to the possession. And Knight obviously will add fuel to the fire when he gets into those press conference settings, and some fairly bizarre statements will come out of his mouth.
Yeah, I came away thinking about Bob Knight that he's going to do things the way Bob Knight wants to do it. And maybe you agree with it, maybe you disagree with it, but he believes in what he believes in.
And some action away from the ball as Indiana triggered it in. Brandon Armstrong going over to the officials and questioning the call, and looks like it's Craig Lewis picking up his second personal foul. So Lewis came in off the bench, and he's right back on the bench after the two quickies.
Look at the pressure. The pressure Pepperdine puts even on a side out of bounds. They're a very, very active team. Almost give you the impression that they want to play defense and make things happen at the defensive end.
Inside, Washington couldn't get it to drop. Off the hands of Richardson, out of bounds. Right now, let's welcome in the third member of our broadcast team, Dwayne Ballin. Dwayne?
Ian, Kurt Hasted, Indiana's forward, has a mild sprain on his right knee. It's heavily bandaged. Doctors will look at him again. It doesn't appear pretty good right now. Of course, as you well know, he's the leading rebounder, second leading scorer on this team. That changes their rotation if he's gone.
16 points per game, 8.5 rebounds per game, and Hasted, he can shoot that jump shot out from 15 feet.
And also has a little sweeping hook that they can go to the post for him. Second option after Guyton.
Shot clock is down to 6. Armstrong on a bounce. Tommy Prince gives it back. Shot clock at 2. Does Armstrong see it? Gets it off in time. Hits the rim, knocked up in the air, and Indiana controls it. Here's Fife off the double team. Guyton passes over. Lewis the jump shot. A little too much on it. And the long rebound to Tommy Prince, who averages 5 boards per game.
Prince doing a real good job that trip, too, defensively, sticking around for that long rebound with the long kick out.
Indiana now 2 of 9 from the field. Archie in a matchup with Guyton.
Archie makes it happen usually with the offense, triggering it, especially on the breaks. Likes to get it and go.
Fifth-year senior gives up his dribble. Lalazarian, high arcing delivery, which is way off. Knocked to the outside. Armstrong can't hit it. And again, Pepperdine able to control it.
So at that time, getting a hand on the basketball and kicking it out.
And Cedric Sewell hitting from the perimeter.
That brings Bob Knight up off the bench, and you know what the message is. Hey, guys, let's get some defensive rebounds here. We cannot let them control it.
Indiana at 22%. Prince gets a hand on it.
Good closure again on the baseline. Very, very active defensively. Here's a trap opportunity.
And Guyton able to handle it. Here's Fife turning the corner on Prince. On a bounce pass inside Washington. He lost the ball. Lead pass Prince, trying to track it down. He does. They'll take the 3. Tommy Prince.
Making things happen. The lefties are here, and the lefties are ready to play some tough basketball.
The transfer from Arizona State has given Pepperdine a 10-point lead. Here's the drive by Fife. Inside, Richardson on a turnaround. That's an air ball.
They have Indiana hesitating and thinking twice on every move they're making at the offensive end.
Here's Prince. Lalazarian On a kick out, Armstrong releases and hits a three.
This is begging for a timeout from Indiana's perspective.
A 9-0 Waves run. Guyton just trying to get involved. Splitting defenders, Lewis on a dish off for Fife. He'll take the jump shot. Short.
Contested again. With a little drift with Fife that trip going to his left. Enough to make that shot miss.
Pepperdine already in front 21-8. Archie can't hit that three. Indiana in transition, but the Waves get back.
They sure do. Defensively, they're very quick and alert to find the basketball. And finding A.J. Guyton all the time also.
Lewis feeding to the free throw line. Washington gives it up. Richardson doesn't hit the wall, and Indiana really struggling. A foul called underneath. The Hoosiers are 2 of 12 from the field, and Jan Van Bredikoff has to be thrilled with the effort so far. Timeout. Pepperdine, the 11th seed with a 21-8 lead. So what's on for today?
Boss wants you, me, and Charlie to take the new Silverado and move them bales.
Is that Charlie?
Chevy Silverado has the most powerful V8 of any 4x4 pickup.
Then we gotta water the herd.
300 horses make it more powerful.
If there's any daylight left, we'll take Norm up to see the ladies.
More powerful than Ford and Dodge. That's why it's the truck. Silverado from Chevy.
Well, guess that's enough for today.
In my games, what I'm trying to create are these fantastic experiences that kind of go beyond the experiences of normal life. So what I was doing here was something I'd seen my father do on Skylab to create artificial gravity. Merrill Lynch has managed to allow me to fund my creative activities. John's listened to me as an investor. He's been able to understand my needs and engineer a plan to get me there. My next goal is to be able to buy a flight into space.
Your phone, your water pressure, the airbags in your car, the toys your children play with. The world around you runs on chips. Agilent makes the testing equipment that makes sure those chips work. Just try to get through a day without being touched by the things we test. You might as well try to dodge raindrops.
Mom, Dad, remember how my rent was earning me airline miles?
Yeah, that rewards program?
Scrap it. I'm not going anywhere. Mark. What I want now is merchandise, preferably brand name, and I've been kicking some numbers around. I've already earned the television. That's going upstairs. Give me a hand with this, Dad, please. Dad.
You want brand name merchandise?
Yeah.
What does this look like, a Holiday Inn?
Points, miles, or merchandise. Holiday Inn gives you more, and more is better.
There's only one thing more dangerous than working for the mob.
Break his big toe.
Pretending to. Balcone, an extraordinary TV event. Starts CBS April 4th.
Pepperdine out in front, 21-8. Indiana has not been to the Sweet 16 since 1994, and early exits. It's been haunting this Hoosier program of late.
And it looks like tonight they're going to have their hands full with the way Pepperdine has come out, ready to go up and down the floor. Bob Knight has to figure it out in a hurry with the way Pepperdine has started. And he usually makes it happen defensively.
A 9-0 run for Pepperdine, and Indiana. No field goals to speak of over the last 5 minutes and change.
Well, no fast break points, obviously, and 10 fast break points for Pepperdine at the other end.
Prince feeling it, rimming out, and rebounded by Lewis.
Good job on the defensive blockouts. Rebound down below the rim, about 4 feet off the court.
A.J. Guyton has not attempted a field goal yet.
They have a defense called the awareness defense, and that means that you're going to take a guy and be aware of him on the floor. And Pepperdine is finding him every trip down the floor and not letting him get open.
The lob upstairs and some action on the pass-off. Bob Knight has already made changes in the lineup. Kyle Hornsby and Gerald Odell. This was earlier. Bob Knight emphatically speaking with Dane Fife, who currently finds himself on the bench.
Well, not to say that Bob Knight will not challenge you, that's for sure. Try to motivate you in any way he feels comfortable. Oh, watch out.
Shepard had to go in and out. And Michael Lewis hit the deck, a foul. Frank Lewis has been called on his 3rd personal foul.
Lewis goes down the ton. He helps himself up by grabbing onto the pants of Lewis. Here's a different look defensively. A little 1-2-2, extending it. Now watch for traps.
Jared Odell, the step in. No good. They can't get one to drop.
They've had a handful hanging around the rim for a second or two.
They are 2 of 13 from the field. And Jeff Newton was trying to ride out on Kelvin Gibbs. Personal foul. Who has the tournament edge? Get complete head-to-head breakdowns on any 2 players in the player matchup feature. March Mayhem is at cbs.sportsline.com or America Online. Keyword CBS Sportsline. Gave the foul to Jared Odell, and that's a quick 2 on him. Jump shot does not go down for Armstrong. There's Lewis on a stop and go to the rim, bouncing for Newton. On the outside, Hornsby.
Each pass gets a reaction from a defender, and it's a quick reaction.
And it's Newton on a turnaround. Off the rim. Indiana down to 14% from the field. What a terrible start it's been for the Hoosiers. A 7-minute drought on the offensive end. Gibbs gives up his dribble. That jumper goes down for Armstrong, a 3.
That's solid basketball also. You extend the defense, bring them out towards half court, a little backdoor basketball play, and then you get a trigger to the right side.
All 3 of his field goals from long range, and finally Indiana gets a bucket. Kyle Hornsby, who averages just 3 points per game. That ends a 12-0 Waves run.
Fans wanted to travel on that play, but Hornsby did hold his pivot foot.
Armstrong off penetration, gives it away. Let's see if A.J. Guyton can get involved. Looking for his first field goal attempt, and he's fouled on his way to the rim. And now let's take a look at our Microsoft Databank. Undefeated teams since 1939, and Indiana in select company with North Carolina and that great run from UCLA. The Hoosiers did it back in 1976. Mark of 32-0. Bob Knight, 29th year at Indiana, 35th year overall as a head coach, and his 24th NCAA tournament appearance as the head coach of the Hoosiers. A.J. Guyton at the free throw line.
763 wins for Bob Knight, an amazing total.
Squeezed out another 20-win season from this team, 20-8. The 23rd time he's won 20 or more games in a campaign. Guyton goes 1 out of 2. He's an 80% free throw shooter. Now has 3 points, all from the line. Lalazarian trying to feed in the post. He does. And Nick Shepard with the finish.
You generally don't want to see a guy pass the basketball from that far away towards the post. Lalazarian with a very sharp pass, a quick snap pass. Away from the defender, makes it work.
Fife back on the floor for Indiana. We come up on 9 minutes to play, first half. Pepperdine up big. Newton, side rim. Lalazarian, good position. And over the back is the call.
You have a long pass. You see the snap-in pass that's going to go away from one defender. A good, strong catch by Shepard in the lane. It's one thing to be out there as a passer, but if you're going to be a perimeter player, you want to make sure the guy you're passing the ball to will go after it and put the effort in, because then you'll toss it to him. If he's not going to give you the effort, you'll be more hesitant to not throw it in at him.
Third foul on Odell. He goes to the sideline, replaced by Larry Richardson. And Al Minahan in the game for the first time for Pepperdine. They lead it 26-11. Armstrong. Kick out for Shepard. The jump shot is good. 9 points for Nick Shepard. That's his season average. And the Pepperdine Waves have come out on fire. Indiana, accustomed to shooting a much higher percentage. They're at 19, and that's a high percentage shot as Newton leaned in.
And those are shots that they've had in the middle of the floor area that they've just not been able to get to drop. We have a situation where if they keep bouncing the ball in there, things might happen good for them, but they just have to continually to get down there and really test Pepperdine down low.
Number 33.
Beginning Tuesday, April 4th, CBS presents an extraordinary television event. Jason Gedrick stars in Falcone. The FBI's best agent is going deeper into the mob than anyone has been before. Don't miss this compelling new drama, Falcone, coming to CBS Tuesday, April 4th. Nick Shepard to the free throw line, a chance to crack double figures, but his free throw rims out. A.J. Guyton. No field goal attempts so far, and we have played 12 minutes of action. There's Newton putting it on the floor. The leader, somebody got a piece.
Shepard did. Shepard came in, second man in. The reaction still very sharp for Jan Van Bredekoff's squad. They seem very, very alert. We talked to Jan Van Bredekoff yesterday, and he just was not happy, didn't seem alert.
Step in by Fife. He'll lean in for the deuce. So Dane Fife getting the easy basket, something Indiana has not been able to come up with consistently. And they trail 28-15. Fife with his first points of the night.
Fife, best defensive player on the squad for Indiana. A little anticipation and getting an easy bucket. That's the main thing for them.
Off the deflection. Minahan catches cleanly. Tommy Prince. There's a back in La Lazarian. Shot clock at 8. Fife trying to wrestle the ball away, and a foul will be called on La Lazarian.
I think that's the right call also. Fife came across, anticipated well, and got himself in a position to steal the basketball.
A bit of a surprise early on with a timeout. 28-15, Pepperdine in front. Well, no timeout. That was the motion from the officials. Instead, we'll have free throws at the 7:02 mark, first half. And Dane Fife at the free throw line. 18 fouls on Pepperdine, a 1-and-1 situation. And Fife connects on the first, a 79% free throw shooter. Quite a departure for Fife to find himself at Indiana. A.J. Guyton on the bench, scoring average over 20 points per game. Only 3 tonight. And no attempts from the outside. Fife gets the second. Tell you about his connection with the Wolverines when we come back. Now the timeout, an 11-point game.
A tradition unlike any other. The Masters on CBS Sports.
Meet Martin Licious, Storm Chaser. Some head for the basement. He heads for a Chevy S10. It's got advantages over Ford Ranger, like better fuel economy, a bigger bed, and standard four-wheel anti-lock brakes on every model. Because if you want to outrun Mother Nature, you need every advantage you can get. Chevy S10, like our rock.
Faster, more reliable, higher quality, more profitable. Nortel Networks is building the new high-performance internet, and it can be whatever you want it to be. So tell us, what do you want the internet to be?
Come together right now over me.
There are many of you. There's you the homemaker and you the homeowner. You the gourmet, the paramedic, and the diplomat. You support the world, but who supports you? You are one of 68 million Americans who aren't getting enough sleep. The kind of deep sleep you get on a bed that uniquely cradles and supports your body as no other bed does.
Oh, I love this bed.
The Crown Jewel from Sealy Posturepedic. We support you night and day.
Call Merck to learn more about an FDA-approved hair loss treatment, or call your doctor to discuss which treatment is best for you.
Introducing the biggest, boldest player in the Colonel's sandwich lineup. My spicy triple crunch zinger. Not one, not two, but 3 big strips of white meat chicken, plus the Colonel's spicy zinger sauce. Try one today for just $1.99. Booyah!
Kellogg in New York. Pepperdine leading Indiana with 7:02 to play in the first half. Let's take you around the country and tell you what's happening elsewhere. In Nashville, Arkansas trails Miami, and in this game, the Razorbacks have come out in the doldrums. Clark shooting right around 20% so far.
Well, like the Missouri-North Carolina game we saw early on tonight, this again is a matter of size versus the three-point shot. Miami doing a nice job attacking Arkansas's pressure defense, aggressively attacking it for scores, and then doing damage inside. Arkansas has yet to make a three-point field goal, and that's a big part of their game.
At tournament time, Miami is what you would call a dangerous team.
They really are, because they've got good balance, they've got experience in the backcourt, and I think Vernon Jennings is one of the most undervalued point guards in the country. He's got size, he gets people the ball in scoring position, and he knows exactly what Leonard Hamilton wants at both ends.
The winner of this game moves on to Sunday's game against Ohio State. In Birmingham, this is another South Region game, South Carolina State and Stanford, and the Stanford Cardinal has doubled up on South Carolina State right now, 28-14.
The Cardinal too big, too deep, too good. Just a matter of time.
Stanford with a 10-point run to help boost this 14-point lead so far, and you know, Mike Montgomery looking dissatisfied over there on the side, but he can't be all that unhappy.
I'm sure he's not. Just challenging his team to play at their best level, regardless of what the competition is doing.
The Cardinal enjoying their first ever #1 seed. Come in with a record of 26-3. And the next stop for Stanford or South Carolina State, should they win this game, is the Tar Heels of North Carolina on Sunday. Meanwhile, in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, in the East region, Lamar against top seed Duke, and the Blue Devils jumped off to a 16-7 lead. Shane Battier has keyed a Duke 8-point run early on.
Well, Duke came out early on to establish pace by pressing. They put together a 10-zip run. They lead by 9 now. And again, this game, as most 1-16 games are, just a matter of time for the 1 seed.
How's this for a nice little notation? Lamar, 4 previous trips to the NCAA tournament, have never lost an opening round game.
Well, that'll end tonight.
Greg Gumbel here in New York with the soothsayer, Clark Kellogg, as the Duke Blue Devils try to hand the Lamar Cardinals, who come in with a 15-15 record, an opening round defeat. Let's take you back to Buffalo, Pepperdine, and Indiana. Let's rejoin Ian Eagle and Jim Spanarkel.
Pepperdine with a 30-19 lead on Indiana. 5:29 to play in the first half. The number 11 seed, the Waves, traveling from the West Coast and showing no signs of any fatigue early on.
One of the things they do well is they play tough defense, and that was the tone early. They set it early from the beginning and pushed the ball up the floor. So they really played their game and have been playing it to the script that Jan Van Bredekoff wanted. Indiana, on the other hand, just can't find an opportunity to get easy shots, and Pepperdine has been tracking A.J. Guyton beautifully, not allowing him to get a shot off.
A nightmare offensively for Indiana. 29% so far in the first half as Seward gets the roll.
And here's a different look. Once again, the guards for Indiana have to make good decisions. Lewis right now has to look out. Pick up your dribble and you're in trouble.
And he gave it away. Giselle Archie stepping in front. Prince thought about it. Inside the arc. It rattles out. And rebounded by Lewis. And Lewis in transition. Driving layup. He missed it.
A lot of bodies contact. Here they go with some numbers again if they hurry.
Here's Archie leading a 4-on-3 development. Jump shot. Armstrong got it for 3.
One thing they do very well, and Bob Knight has to make an adjustment at halftime, is they're getting down the floor in a hurry with their spreads, and they're finding open spots. Look at the spread right now.
Another turnover for Indiana.
Terrific spacing on the floor.
Gibbs a 3.
Oh, baby. The lefties are showing that they can shoot the basketball.
And Pepperdine has taken a 37-19 lead.
A little action after that shot. Guys tangling up underneath the basket. And you get a look at the shot. 23-11, pushing right to the right there. Bang, another little push.
And double technicals have been assessed. Dane Fife and Tommy Prince.
This game has been interesting from the beginning, too, because not only has Pepperdine come at them very quickly, but it's been a physical brand of basketball also. It seemed that early on, Bob Knight could sense that underneath the baskets is going to be very, very difficult. Take a look underneath the basket. Here's the opening, going to look right here. Now watch, it continues, though, and they start banging away.
Dane Fife has the reputation for being hard-nosed. Sometimes he'll do anything it takes. And that one obviously got under the skin of Tommy Prince.
Worked out for the best, though, baby. Okay, now don't talk.
Coming up at halftime, Pennzoil at the half. Greg Gumbel, Clark Kellogg gets you updated on all the tournament news, all the scores and highlights, plus a live look in at all the action going on in the NCAA tournament. It's all coming up. Pennzoil at the half. Pepperdine has its largest lead. They are 6 of 11 from three-point range. Indiana has attempted just one from beyond the arc. Gibbs feeding inside for Prince. Had it knocked away.
The thing that has amazed me the most about Pepperdine, after speaking with Jan Van Bredikoff, who was very concerned about the ability of his team, he thought they were a little sluggish in some of the practices. They did come out today and practice again and went a little harder just to get the legs working. Going cross-country, they have really shown no effects of that at all.
Cedric Seward having some problems with his knee pad, so he'll be forced to go to the bench. And Nick Shepard has come back in. Seward's done a nice job.
Screen.
Shot clock is down to 12. Archie controls it, matched up with A.J. Guyton. Here's Armstrong with 5 to shoot. Armstrong able to kick it out. 1 on the clock. Did they get a shot off in time? They did. But Archie could not convert. The rebound to Newton.
Better effort defensively. That trip also for Indiana. Good recognition of where the basketball was and understanding the shot clock, especially staying away from the last second shot.
Luke Jimenez in the game for the first time tonight for Indiana. And Jimenez will crank it up. Missing the 3. Battle for the loose ball. Fife trying to take it away from Prince. And Prince able to keep his cool and just walked away.
Good call from the officials. Officials getting right in there also to make sure nothing happens. You don't need any extracurriculars, but watch once again. Fife right in the middle as he comes down. He'll get tangled up with a second opportunity, and he goes in just a little too aggressively, crossing Prince's arms.
Second personal foul on Dane Fife. Mr. Basketball in the state of Michigan back in 1998. Tommy Prince regained a 4th year of eligibility by completing his undergraduate degree over the summer. He was a partial qualifier. It's a great story. Pepperdine now on an 8-0 run. Prince tacks on another and a timeout. The Waves leading it 39-19 over Indiana.
When you're in love, personal space is never an issue. At United Airlines, we realize not everyone's in love. Newly completed Economy Plus, with up to 5 extra inches of space. One more thing we're doing to make it easier to stay united.
Good evening, folks.
Hold the door, hold the door. Hey, hold that elevator. Hold one more. Whoa. Hey, open the door. Somebody get that, please. People, somebody press the button. Frank, come on, I can see you in there. Please open the door. Hey. Come on, we're reasonable people here. Hey, look. Oh, that's my Bud Light.
Get it, Frank.
Whoa.
With a great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
I can't shake them.
Is this going on? Make it a Bud Light.
Sickness, the final frontier. Rice?
You got it.
Thank you. Boils. The train's coming into the station. It's just not stopping. That's the one. Anything for that?
Yahtzee!
See you next week. Even at the drugstore, you can do more with the American Express card.
All right, Kowalski, Russo,
O'Brien,
the rest of you.
see you next week. Pipe down!
Meet the inspiration behind the truck. We thought of them when we gave it the most powerful V8 of any 4x4 pickup. We thought of them when we gave it a bigger extended cab than Ford F-150 or Dodge Ram.
Maybe that's why Chevy Silverado owners think so highly of the truck. Now ranked most appealing full-sized pickup by J.D. Power and Associates. Silverado, it's the truck from Chevy.
Was he, as one prominent Catholic called him, Hitler's Pope? More pro-Nazi than the present Pope is willing to concede? 60 Minutes, Sunday.
Look at our game summary here in Buffalo. 39-19 Pepperdine. Field goal percentage 26% for Indiana. And the one stat that pops off the page, A.J. Guyton, 3 points, no field goal attempts. The co-MVP in the Big Ten, and he's been invisible offensively so far.
Jan Van Bredikoff said that they have this awareness defense, awareness of one player who they're concerned with, and A.J. Guyton was the guy they pointed to. And clearly, they are pointing to him and doing more than that. They are defending him perfectly and not allowing, it's hard to believe, with 3:30 left, and he hasn't got an attempt off.
On the interior, the banker goes through for Little Washington. The injury to Kirk Haston also playing a role. Pepperdine's playing tremendous basketball, but Indiana has not had the post presence offensively they're accustomed to a player that averages 16 points per game.
And they do look for Haston on the block, so there's no question. Your point is well taken, and they just haven't been able to find a substitute for him.
Archie on a bounce. Prince trying to get it to the outside. They do save it. Inside, Stewart tied up. And possession arrow favors Indiana.
Indiana looking to get some easier opportunities as they come down the floor. And it's beautiful to see when a guy, Washington, catching the basketball and not putting it on the floor. And then Pepperdine at the other end. Good hands right there by Lewis. The first guy in, making things happen. Jimenez, the second guy.
Really only 2 easy buckets that you can remember in this first half for Indiana. Really worked hard. On a bounce inside, layup attempt, blocked away. But Indiana gets the bucket.
A risky pass, but what Indiana has to do is that when the wave comes down defensively, and it is a defensive wave, they have to go over the first tier of it, and then you have numbers. This game is all about 2-on-1s and 3-on-2 advantages.
Lewis with his first deuce. And it's 39-23, just over 2 minutes to play first half. Here's Armstrong, acceleration to the goal.
One of the things they're doing, not only are they accelerating to the goal, but they're accelerating around their screens, and that's usually what's going to set up that driving opportunity.
16 first half points for Brandon Armstrong. Washington dumping it inside. Newton. Jimenez gives it up. Guyton, first field goal attempt, no good. On the interior, Washington battling hard, but he had it knocked away. And a giveaway, no, a travel. Lewis went for the ball. Archie shuffled the feet. And Pepperdine gives it right back.
Trying to fight their way in, getting a couple of breaks. Bob Knight trying to figure it all out, what kind of adjustments he's going to have to make at halftime.
Upstairs it goes, and Washington was fouled as Tommy Prince came over.
Stopping the clock a little bit, get to the free throw line, one way to chop into some leads. And
Washington shoots 68% from the free throw line. He's a banger. Averaging 7 points per game, 5 boards. Scored that game winner in the victory over Michigan State. And if I remember correctly, it was the only basket he had.
Not a bad one to get, though.
It's called good timing.
Exactly.
And a couple of free throws for Little Washington. Pepperdine 41, Indiana 25.
Indiana continues to pressure outside. Good solid man-to-man.
Here's Armstrong. On the bank shot. Brandon Armstrong, the Wave's top scorer this season. And picking up where he left off here in the NCAA tournament. 18 points.
Knew he had a quick first step, but this is getting ridiculous.
Jimenez didn't get the roll. Newton could not grab it. Knocked out of bounds. Last touch, Pepperdine. 1:11 left on the clock.
Situations where is the help defensively, and it's pretty late getting there. Newton not in very good position to help out, but being able to break somebody down off the dribble, mighty important in this game. And Jan Van Bredikoff has a couple of guys on his team that can break people down off the dribble. Armstrong being one.
Gibbs and Minahan check back in for Pepperdine. Here's Lewis, a three. Off the mark. And Gibbs with a rebound on the weak side. Under a minute to play first half. Indiana now 0 for 5 from three-point range. There's Minahan putting it on the floor. Armstrong defended by Jimenez, using the screen. 15 to shoot.
And using the clock pretty well. A little bit of a carry.
And they call it turnover Pepperdine.
I don't see that call too often. That's one of the things the officials are supposed to focus on at the beginning of the year in collegiate basketball. When you get an advantage, that's when they call that. If you stop it, hold on to the basketball.
Newton on a dump down and a lay-in for Lynn Washington. 6 points for Washington, seeing more minutes because of the injury to Kirk Haston. And a timeout taken with 26 seconds to play first half. Pepperdine with a lead, 43-27.
My dad was a coach at Georgia School for the Deaf. I grew up in an environment where deaf kids kind of adopted me in their culture.
Thank all of you for coming to the camp today.
When I first went to Merrill Lynch, I was very impressed with Steve Maloney. He was very easy to talk to, and he listened well.
So it's important for all of us to listen well and to cooperate. Every day you're building your future.
Hey, buddy, you looking for a job? Brother, you came to the right place. I got hot jobs, cool jobs, jobs that are absolute monsters. Just go and take your pick. You got me? Come on, right this way.
Tired of internet job sites that lead you nowhere? Log on to kforce.com with over 2,000 recruiting specialists whose only job is to get you the job. kforce.com. Opportunity has a new address.
Newly completed Economy Plus with up to 5 extra inches of space. One more thing we're doing to make it easier to stay united.
People, you can come out now. Look, I've got the wireless internet right here in my hand. No wires, no tricks, news, sports, shop, all online. And crystal clear calls, all right here. On Sprint PCS. That's right. Come on out. Welcome back to the world.
Experience the power of the Sprint PCS wireless web.
Monday on CBS, let the games begin. Critics are calling Grapevine the smartest sitcom since Friends. Christy Swanson stars in an all-new Grapevine after The King of Queens Monday on CBS. Well, that tells the story. With Brandon Armstrong, 18 points for Pepperdine. Indiana as a team has 27 overall. Only 26 seconds remaining. Final stages here in the first half. Pepperdine 43, Indiana 27. The number 11 seed has played a terrific first half of basketball here in Buffalo.
And essentially it's been a blitz by Pepperdine coming down the floor, offensively getting any shot they want.
Inside, Gibbs with a line drive delivery, and everything is working for the Waves. Final second, Lewis gets it off and comes up short at the buzzer. Wow. What a first half performance from Jan Van Bredikoff's team. They lead it 45-27 at halftime. Dwayne Ballin standing by. Dwayne.
Coach Van Bredikoff, you must be very pleased with the first half.
I really am. Our team, I think, played very hard. We did it. We executed our game plan. We got a couple foul trouble. Craig Lewis is a key player, but I thought the guys came in off the bench and really stepped up, and we're happy where we are, but we got a lot more work to do.
Thank you, Coach Van Bredikoff. Ian?
Pepperdine in front, 45-27. CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
Introducing the Isuzu 10-year, 120,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want to drive your SUV around town all day? You're covered. You want to take it to the most treacherous backcountry you can find? Be our guest. You want to drive it off a cliff? Well, that's where the limited and limited warranty comes in. America's longest warranty. It covers most everything you do. Except, of course, the cliff thing.
How many patients can one doctor see in one day?
Mr. Tompkins.
What's his problem?
He's dead.
I can't fix that. An all-new record-breaking Becker, CBS Monday. Happy St. Patrick's Day from the King of Queens. Mondays on CBS.
In 1939, RCA introduced television to the public at the World's Fair. Color came to television in 1954 with RCA's mark. Digital satellite TV became a myth. The future of television is high definition, 6 times sharper
The
than...
people who brought you the television, now bringing the next generation, making television as exciting as it was the very first time. RCA, changing entertainment again.
Whoa. Yeah, she looked right at you. She goes up for me? Go. Okay.
All right, watch suction, please. I need 10 cc's of adrenaline. 10 cc's.
He's redlining. Get the crash card. Stand. Charging.
The cold-filtered cool of Miller Genuine Draft.
Thanks.
Our boy's back. Never miss a genuine opportunity.
Need a left.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Sack of 10, please. Want one?
Thanks. Okay. You can let me off here.
White Castle. What you crave. Right now, get a free Crave clip when you buy a sack of 10.
It's halftime in Buffalo and in Nashville, but that doesn't mean the action stops. More live action coming your way.
CBS Sports presents Pennzoil at the Half. Sponsored by Pennzoil. Specially formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
Hi, everyone. Welcome once again to our studios in New York. Greg Gumbel along with Clark Kellogg. Welcome to Pennzoil at the Half. At halftime, Pepperdine is leading Indiana and Miami is leading Arkansas. Let's send you out to the action taking place in the East Region matchup in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. The Duke Blue Devils with a 34-28 lead on the hard-charging Lamar Cardinals. Let's take you live and join Jim Nance and Billy Packard.
Lamar has energized this building at Winston-Salem. Not like it needed it. We've already had 2 overtime games here today with Florida advancing past Butler, Kansas over DePaul. Duke had a largest lead of 11, but Landon Rowe with one more free throw can trim it here to 4.
There's Mike Dean, the third of 3 coaches we've had today that have taken 3 different teams to the NCAA tournament. And he wanted his team to play a slower tempo, but to be quite honest with you, they have offensively taken it. There's Boozer with a push on Jackson. They have taken it to Duke.
And again, not anywhere close to the bonus. That's only the 3rd foul committed by Duke. Mike Krzyzewski organizing his thoughts for a halftime speech.
Well, you know, one thing he cannot fault his team. They have given effort. It's just that Lamar has faced the challenge and come through with some excellent shooting.
Rowe from behind, hammered. And he'll go back to the line.
Well, Mike Dean got on Rowe earlier at a timeout where Rowe hadn't done much. He only had 1 field goal, but the leading scorer is now coming on pretty strong.
I said to Mike Dean yesterday, when you've had a quiet moment and you've dreamed the dream of being the first 16 ever to beat a 1, what was the thought that went through your mind? Now, he's a realist, but he said, well, in 1919, a horse named Upset beat Man of War. And that was the origin of the term upset. Right. And that was for the last century. And if we were to beat Duke, I don't want the term upset to be around anymore. I want it to be known as a Lamar.
And look at what's happening here. Lamar pressing Duke.
Farewell. Back to the rim. Duke gets it back. On the floor, and Spears steals it. A 16 has never beaten a 1. Lamar down 3, turns it over. Carrawell with the theft.
Nobody picking him up. You got to do that.
Boozer will go to the line for 2.
Probably a pretty good foul by Manheim. Manheimer came across there, committed the foul on Boozer's going to put him on the line, but Boozer had an easy put down.
Duke has led by as many as 11, but behind the sharpshooting Kenyon Spears with 14 points, the Cardinals have stayed in it.
You know, Jim, in the ACC tournament this year, you had the MVP Williams, the freshman, the first freshman ever to win it was the great guard Phil Ford from the University of North Carolina. But Duke had 6 guys either on first or second team all tournament.
Hey! He's in the garage.
Hey!
If you're going to have a garage, have a garage. And if you're going to use an oil, use an oil. Pennzoil with Pure Base, specially formulated for stop-and-go driving.
Like what I've done with the place? Hey, what does this do? Well, that opens up the roof so I can airlift anything in or out of it.
Stop. Go. Pennzoil.
I've been officiating since 1973. I started in junior college, working junior high, freshman, church league, recreation league games.
Red ball! Red ball!
The technical foul, it's a penalty that 2 shots in the ball. We're out there to do a job, give both teams a fair chance, an opportunity to win. I think you just treat it as another game and call it the way you've been calling it according to the guidelines. So I try not to let that get into my sight.
Last year, he stormed the golf world. Now, Sergio Garcia, El Nino, roars into Augusta National. A tradition unlike any other. The Masters on CBS Sports.
The parents of Landon Rowe, Janet and Chuck Rowe, and I can almost guarantee no one has made a bigger trip on the road to the Final Four than Landon Rowe's father, Chuck, who flew in yesterday from Algeria in northern Africa, where he is...
I would disagree, Jim.
Okay.
If Andy Borman gets into the game, his grandfather came from the moon.
Frank Borman. But Chuck Rowe is an oil drill. That's not, but he didn't come back for the moon.
He came from the moon.
Okay. But Mr. Rowe, an oil drill supervisor. And he's watching his son right here. Shot blocked by Battier.
You like that top on that one, huh?
No, I think, you know, you got about 25 years too late, 30 years too late. Nate James and a timeout by Mike Dean. So Lamar was within 3 a moment ago. Devils open it up to 8.
Buzz Aldrin and I don't take the same approach to investing. I like trading at home. Buzz trades from far away. Gotcha. We do, however, share the same new way to trade online.
Introducing Power Street by Fidelity, with the tools you need to trade your way, whether online, two-way pager, or the new Palm 7 handheld computer.
And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to use it.
Speak for yourself, Bob.
Power Street at Fidelity.com. Online trading gets personal.
Monday on CBS, critics calling Grapevine the smartest sitcom since Friends. Christy Swanson, all new Grapevine after King of Queens, Monday on CBS. Well, Billy, back to Chuck Rowe.
Okay, good.
I don't know if you're off the move by now.
I had to have some fun with him.
Okay. He works 80 kilometers west of the Libyan and Tunisian border in the Sahara Desert, and he listened to Lamar's Southland Conference tournament win off the internet. And he flew here to see his son, a senior, compete in the NCAA tournament.
It's got to be a thrill of a lifetime, huh?
Yeah, thrilling first half indeed. Jason Williams collects his first. Andy Borman, by the way, Billy, you mentioned him. His grandfather, Frank Borman. Andy Borman, a walk-on the Duke team. Who knows? We could see him later.
Outstanding soccer player at Duke University. How about that pass?
Yep, Spears set him up just right. So in Winston-Salem, the Duke Blue Devils continue to hold the edge 39-31 as they approach halftime at the Lawrence Joel Coliseum. Other scores in Birmingham. Stanford 47-26 over South Carolina State at halftime. And in Nashville, they're just about ready to get underway in the second half. Miami holding a 10-point lead on Arkansas. Thank you for joining us here on Pennzoil at the half. We'll send you back to Buffalo for the second half right after this.
Pennzoil at the half has been sponsored by Pennzoil, specially formulated for today's stop-and-go driving. Stop, go, Pennzoil.
How do you want to fly? That's the question Delta's been asking. Because different people want different things. Every passenger has a request. What would yours be?
Dave's talking to NBA star Shaquille O'Neal tonight on CBS.
Some see water. Some melted ice. A man with a hangover about to swallow 2 aspirin. 1/1 of the ocean. A liquid compound comprised of hydrogen and oxygen. The remains of a thunderstorm. A very tiny swimming pool. At Expedior, we'll help you look at e-business in entirely new ways. Expedior. Imagine, then soar.
What do people see in the all-new 2000 Ford Taurus? A personal safety system with dual-stage airbags that inflate to fit the driver and passenger, and adjustable pedals that allow for maximum driver comfort and convenience. Combine that with a breathtaking new style, and you'll see that safety never looked so good. Ford Taurus. Now get low 3.9% financing and $1,000 cash back. Visit your local Ford store and see yourself in a new Ford Taurus today.
You can't get through there.
No, I can do this.
Just chip out.
I can get through there.
Just chip it out.
I can get through there, watch.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right. I guess I should have chipped out, huh?
Custom clubs for greater accuracy. Chipshot.com.
CBS Sports exclusive coverage of the NCAA Basketball Championship is sponsored by Acura, Dell, Delta Airlines, and by Bud Light.
Rejoining you from Buffalo, it's halftime. Pepperdine leading Indiana 45-27. Ian Eagle along with Jim Spinarkle. You're searching for a storyline? Look no farther than A.J. Guyton, one of the best players in the country this season, and Pepperdine has handled them.
They sure have. They've thrown a wide array of different types of defenses at him, but every single time down the floor they've found them. Can't get the shot off, can't get a clean look at it. It's just been amazing.
Halftime stats as a team, Indiana has not shot the ball well, 29%. 0 for 6 from three-point range. Pepperdine controlling the rebounding action as well. Starting guards, you see the disparity, and this has been Brandon Armstrong's night. 18 points, including 4 of 5 from three-point range. Can't even say that Guyton's having an off night shooting. He's had 1 field goal attempt.
No, you can't say that. You're absolutely correct.
Kirk Haston will not return to this game. That knee heavily bandaged. They're icing it down. He played just 2 minutes of action, the second leading scorer on this Indiana team. 16 points per game, 8.5 rebounds. Starting play, second half, Armstrong came off the rim, and they will call it over the back as Washington took the hit from behind.
One of the things to look for, Jan Van Bredekoff is going to try to start the second half like he did the first half, with pressure, changing the defenses and extending.
Foul called on Kelvin Gibbs, and Indiana unable to run that break. Was tapped out of bounds by Pepperdine. The Hoosiers this season 1-6 when trailing at halftime, and what about when they're trailing at halftime by 18?
A different stat in itself, huh?
Here's the cut made by Guyton. He's got to search for his own shot.
Well, they're searching for him defensively. That's why it's been so difficult. Very good awareness.
Jimenez getting the start here in the second half. They go with a 3-guard look. There's Guyton. Jumper for 3. Side rim. Rebounded by Jimenez.
Archie was right on his right side of his shooting hand also.
And Lewis was falling down to the floor, and he gave it away. Armstrong sets it up, but misses the 3, and Newton able to handle the rebound. 45-27. Just over a minute gone by here in the second half. Pepperdine with a sizable lead.
And struggling from the outside, it always helps to get something going towards the basket.
Lewis, pump fake, and he's called for steps. Bob Knight frustrated as we check in with Dwayne Ballard.
And Bob Knight told his team at the half they looked really, really bad, and the seniors especially had better wake up or this would be it for them.
The seniors, Guyton, Lewis, Washington, Richardson, and Jimenez. Trailing by 18. Here's Shepard on a kick out. Armstrong, 18 first half points.
No sense that all 5 Indiana players are going after it aggressively. See that easy catch down low? That's going to get you in trouble down on the blocks.
This is a mismatch also. Prince with Jimenez. Gibbs leaning in on a pass off for Prince. And a foul called going the other way, as Washington was able to create some space for himself.
One of the things the officials have done here starting out this second half also, it was a fairly rugged first half in terms of the interior play. A couple of quick whistles here, I think, to set a tone, to at least allow the guys to be aggressive, but make sure there's no cheap shots thrown.
Number 3 on Nick Shepard, so Cedric Suet, who gave Jan Van Bredekoff some quality minutes in the first half, checks in. There's so many different coaching connections in this bracket alone, but Jan Van Bredekoff's dad, tremendous head coach at Hofstra, right? For so many years. Butch Van Bredekoff, watching these games from Florida.
Ed has to be happy with how his son has prepared his team and how they've come out to play. Newton turns it over with a little hop step.
Now this Indiana team, the number 6 seed in the East, 20-8 this season, 10-6 of the Big Ten. They've now turned it over 10 times, and Bob Knight just wondering what's gone wrong here. The injury to Haston, yes, but where has A.J. Guyton been on the offensive end? Archie on a bounce inside for Gibbs. Turnaround hook, short, and the rebound to Newton. Up the floor, here's Guyton trying to break down the defense. He's fouled on the outside. And they will give this one to Craig Lewis.
At some point, you would think Guyton might have to start forcing a couple of shots.
Substitute number 3, Brandon Armstrong.
17:25 remaining in the second half. Pepperdine 45, Indiana 27. The number 11 seed up big on the number 6 seed here in the East in Buffalo. And a giveaway, Indiana with unforced error after unforced error.
And I'd love to go back in the record books with A.J. Guyton's career and look at it and say, how many times 3 minutes deep into the second half of a basketball game has he only taken 2 shots? What a storyline. The inability to get Guyton shots because of Pepperdine's strong defensive effort and also their ability to push the ball up the floor. They came in from the West Coast to the East Coast, and they are moving it quickly.
Over 2,000 points in his Indiana career. He's got 3 here tonight. A.J. Guyton, Big Ten co-MVP, along with Morris Peterson from Michigan State. He led the Pac-10 in scoring.
And then once again, we see another whistle. Hear another whistle blow on the quick touch foul. Clearly, the officials are trying to take the aggressiveness out of this game that was present in the first half.
Dean Fife picking up his 3rd. Indiana 0 for 1 from the field in the second half. 4 turnovers. Pepperdine looking to put more space in between them and the Hoosiers. Here's Prince dropping it inside for Gibbs. And a discard. Offensive foul is the call, and Van Bredikoff irate.
Well, Jan Van Bredikoff thinks that there was a flop. Watch Fife. Is he flopped? Well, there's a big guy putting that left arm up there, but also it's a little acting helps to get the attention of the officials.
.45-27. Newton trying to get aggressive on the interior and a foul call.
Well, basically with Indiana that trip trying to push the ball down the floor, have not gotten too many opportunities off the dribble to really get Pepperdine to react underneath the basket.
So Jeffrey Newton goes to the free throw line where he is 52%. We have not seen any points in the second half. Pepperdine will make some changes. Lalazarian checks in. Al Minahan as well. Gibbs and Prince will take a seat.
Look at that. Interesting. Oh, there we go.
First point, second half. It comes from the freshman Newton out of Mays High School in Atlanta. Indiana just has to get this to a manageable number. Not sure if they're going to be able to do it, considering the way Pepperdine has kept the pressure on. Michael Lewis will pick up his first personal foul.
It's the question, keeping the pressure on which end? And I think the answer is both, isn't it? Offensively and defensively, they're keeping the pressure on at a high level.
No doubt. Armstrong on the perimeter with Guyton. Here's Lalazarian. Armstrong, baseline drive. Off the side of the rim, Suet, offensive rebound. Archie can reset it with a new shot clock. Lalazarian gets a step-on fight. The jumper, no good for 3.
They did a job defensively that trip, the second portion of it.
Pepperdine is 0 for 6 in the second half as Newton went for the monster jam. And Suet came in to make sure it didn't happen. A foul call.
Coming right down at you. Fife giving the basketball up, delivering it on the money. And that's exactly what Indiana needs to do. They need to look for some advantages, take advantage of them by pushing it up the floor. Not be afraid to challenge.
And Newton hits from the free throw line. Pepperdine not extending the lead, but the problem for Indiana, they're not getting enough offense to make a dent. 2 out of 2 for Newton. It's a 15-point game. 15:55 to play. We're in the second half in Buffalo.
I'm serious. Whenever guys find out I have a cat, they freak.
You kidding me? I love cats.
Of course, my cat's not like other cats.
Well, sure he isn't.
You get so jealous if anyone drinks my Bud Light. Oh, anyway, I'll go get changed.
You're right. Stupid cats.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down.
Oh, look at you, too.
Make it a Bud Light.
To all the new e-businesses just getting started, why not talk to the company that's pioneered the business-to-business revolution on the web? One whose own infrastructure supports $40 million per day in e-commerce alone. One who can help you achieve the same success with your e. as we have with ours. Dell knows how he works. Visit Dell.com.
Dell business servers use Intel Pentium 3 Xeon processors.
You bring so joy. Man, what rhymes with elation?
Creation.
Yeah.
Temptation.
It's cool.
Dividend reinvestment participation. Market capitalization. European market fluctuation. Industry globalization. Asset allocation. What?
When we created a smarter kind of investment firm, we created a smarter kind of investor.
Too many syllables?
The 260 horsepower CL Type S from Acura.
Prepare for the unexpected,
You're about to have a baby. Now?
the outrageous.
My dog's been shot. Please help him.
All new City of Angels, CBS Wednesday.
Second half action here at HSBC Arena. 45-30, Pepperdine with the lead. Early exits, been a problem for Bob Knight and company. First round losses in 95, 96, and 97, and the last two tournaments leaving in the second round.
And they have a little less than 16 minutes to figure this one out. Or it could be another early one.
We talked about the travel earlier for Pepperdine and Oregon, who lost earlier in overtime against Seton Hall. What about second half? The Waves forced to call a timeout with Lazarian. Hold that thought. We'll come back. 15:55 left. 15-point disparity.
Dear Mr. Editor, what's going on with the cartoon department?
Oh, boy, oh, boy.
I'd like to have the Monday paper delivered on Monday, not on Tuesday. Yesterday you said it's going to be 60 degrees. Then when I go out, I'm freezing. Thanks for nothing. Harry, Stan.
Microsoft is working to develop internet software that listens. In the future, everyone will have a say. Go get 'em, Harry.
Pepperdine holding on to their 15-point lead. Here you see the pressure from Indiana. A little hesitation. You get to move along the baseline right there if you're taking the basketball out of bounds, especially only after a made free throw or field goal. But the pressure an uptick a little bit by Indiana.
I know we've been singing the praises of Pepperdine, and rightfully so, but you wonder also if they can deliver the knockout punch here against an Indiana team that's very experienced. Possession arrow will favor Indiana off the tie-up.
And once again, Lewis this time, hands down, good defensive position. Archie crosses the ball right into his hands.
Inside, Newton gets the roll, and Indiana starting to chip away. 45-32, Waves.
Nice adjustment by Bob Knight just then, too. Change your defenses up, extend a little bit. What that does is a tendency as a group to get your bodies moving a little bit more sharply.
Tazell Archie on the pass off from Minahan, and a foul called on Michael Lewis. Let's wrap up that whole travel theme. Pepperdine coming cross country.
And you see defensively very quickly how they're trying to pick up charges and doing the flops and trying to get those extensions. But travel-wise, Jan Van Bredikoff was a little tired himself, I thought, yesterday. He thought his team was a little bit sluggish. They started out brilliantly. They were so quick on the basketball, especially at the defensive end. You wonder whether they're going to tire out. They're not really showing many signs of that.
Brandon Armstrong will put it on the floor. Pepperdine still looking for its first points of the second half. Armstrong the miss. Shepard the follow, no. Again it's Shepard. Swatted away by Newton. Shepard.
Oh, look at this effort.
He just keeps coming. Knocked out of bounds, and Pepperdine will have it.
About as good as it gets, especially with no results offensively. What an effort to stay on the offensive glass. And defensively, Indiana answering also with Newton down low.
The Waves 0 for 10 here in the second half. And a quick whistle. Lewis trying to defend.
And that takes the sting out of that Indiana defense just then. You battle so hard defensively, a lot of aggressive play, and then a quick hand check on the outside.
Third foul on the Indiana point guard. And a new shot clock for Pepperdine. They lead by 13. Here's Archie setting things up. Tommy Prince. Archie leading jump shot. No. Lalazarian couldn't grab it. And it came off him last out of bounds. Now 0 for 11 from the field in the second half.
Well, the effort is definitely back for Indiana. Bob Knight adjusting at halftime, challenging his seniors, challenging his players, and they've reacted at least with more effort as they try to chip into this lead.
On a crossover by Fife. And a reach-in foul call.
Gibbs outside at 6'6", 270, an easy target to go by for a guard.
How about the team fouls piling up on Pepperdine? 7 at the 14:32 mark of the second half. So already Indiana's in the bonus. 3 away from the double bonus with an eternity left. Well, the free throw doesn't go down for Fife. He was out of bounds. Jeffrey Newton. He caught it out of bounds and then leaned in.
Right, never established his feet back in bounds. An opportunity wasted just then, too, for Indiana because they had an opportunity there off a missed free throw to get an easy bucket.
Pepperdine has gone nearly 6 minutes here in the second half without a point. And now it's Shepard finally coming through with a bank shot.
Allows them to full court press, pick their defense up a little bit. Indiana a little sharper, though.
Give and go. Fife gives it up. And Guyton was out of bounds.
It took them a while, but notice the catch. Good delivery away from the basket. The delivery, a long one going towards it. Shepard with a strong catch and delivery.
12 Indiana turnovers. 47-32 Waves. Here's Kelvin Gibbs. Finds Prince. Armstrong was the go-to guy in the first half. Jump shot. Shepard. Book it.
Showing you a little diversification there with this shot. Move it inside first. Step out to 15. Takes a little bit of the heat off.
13 points, 6 boards for Nick Shepard. And Indiana finally gets into a flow offensively in the half-court set. Lewis with a three-pointer.
Their defense is really creating the opportunities offensively for them. Nice backdoor cut.
Prince couldn't catch it cleanly, and a turnover. Pepperdine gives it away. Take a look at our tournament summary. 4 games so far in the first round have gone to overtime. 10 games decided by 5 points or less. So much parity around college basketball, and we are seeing it here in this matchup. In fact, an 11 seed in front of a 6 seed, 49-35. Here's Lewis, a 3. Off the rim, rebounded by Prince.
Another good look for Lewis, though, after he hit the last one down that trip.
Here's Armstrong on a bounce for Shepard. Cross-court, Prince.
Nice stop by Prince just then. I thought that was going 2 rows deep.
And Indiana with a steal. Lewis comes up with a deflection. Pepperdine with 11 turnovers. Hornsby, pump fake. And now Jimenez will set things up. Inside. And Newton could not bring it in.
An opportunity, too. Newton had fairly good position along the baseline. As A.J. Guyton comes back and will try desperately to get untracked in this basketball game.
He replaces Michael Lewis. Indiana, 11 field goals, 13 turnovers. Those numbers don't balance out.
No, they don't.
You're not looking for those 2 numbers to be in the same neighborhood.
No, and they don't. That doesn't cut it, that's for sure. That's why you're down 14.
Armstrong, the jump shot. Air ball. Not the player that we saw in the first half. And the last touch from Indiana. Pepperdine holds onto it with 20 to shoot.
The toughest shots to corral as a rebound when they don't hit anything. you look up and do not expect it to come down without hitting backboard or rim.
The second half has been ragged. And another giveaway by Pepperdine. Sloppy play.
And I think that helps Indiana more than it does Pepperdine, though.
There's Guyton. Hanging in the air. Gives it up. Hornsby a three.
Really credit Guyton, too, that time, Ian, because he could have forced a shot. A guy who has not taken many of them. The ability to sense that he couldn't get that shot off has only taken 2. And a nice dish.
Pepperdine's lead is down to 11.
Maybe Pepperdine starts to think a little bit right now.
An 11-4 Indiana outscoring Pepperdine this half. And a foul called. Dane Fife going for the basketball. He got mixed up with Gibbs. Fourth foul on Fife and a timeout. 11:28 to play in regulation. 49-38 Waves.
Enterprise? Hi, my car's out of commission, so I'm out of commission.
Enterprise will arrange to pick you up,
This is great.
drive you to our place, and get you on your way. Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Call Merck to learn more about an FDA-approved hair loss treatment, or call your doctor to discuss which treatment is best for you.
Okay, sweetie, on your toes. Swing through the ball, through it. Eye on the ball, hon. We're working on the forehand. Okay, let's try backhand. We'll work backhand. Okay, you just need to connect with the ball. Let's stay in the game, sweetheart. Now, don't be afraid to charge the net.
How do you plan on financing your retirement? Conseco's annuities have tax advantages that can help. Conseco, step up.
Time out so they can get in better shooting range. There's the pass to Lakener.
I love this part.
Puts it up.
I hate this movie.
Let's get out of here.
Hey! Do you know what time it is? Please, people are trying to sleep down there.
Please. Let nothing stand in your way. The four-wheel drive Passport from Honda.
An unbelievable custody battle.
No judge is going to pack a 6-year-old off to the Himalayas. Ryan is the reincarnation of the High Lama.
All new Family Law, CBS Monday.
Indiana trying to chip into this lead that Pepperdine has built up, and defensively, Fife going around, trying to get a hand on the basketball, the intensity. A great shot of how Bob Knight's squad is trying to fight their way back. Some adjustments made at halftime that have worked to their favor, but still climbing that 11-point heap right now is still going to be some work.
Dane Fife, 4 personal fouls in 12 minutes of action, and he remains on the floor with Pepperdine in front. And Pepperdine unable to get it in cleanly, deflected off of Indiana. The Waves have led by as many as 20. It is down to 11, and a 30-second timeout has been called by the Waves. 49-38, 11:28 left to play in Buffalo.
Freeze, kid.
What's the deal?
You were about to make a collect call, weren't you, son?
Yeah?
Men like things cheap and easy. 1-800-COLLECT is both. How cheap? Saves a buck or two. How easy? The name says it all. 1-800-COLLECT. As in collect call.
Cool. Can you unfreeze my arm now?
Okay, kid. Go ahead.
Dial like a man. Use 1-800-COLLECT. I love this thing. 1-800-COLLECT. Save a buck or two.
Sunday on 60 Minutes, who are the new masters of the net? The internet, that is. They're taking the cyber world by storm. Also, why is the mayor of one of the world's hottest vacation spots giving visitors the cold shoulder? Answers coming up on Sunday. You can see them on 60 Minutes. 49-38, 49-38, Pepperdine has the lead. Waves able to get it in. They have a fresh shot clock to work with. Archie on a kick out. Armstrong pump fake. He'll lean in. Scoop shot is there. Brandon Armstrong with 20.
And then once again, half-court trap. Quick aggressiveness by Pepperdine, especially after a bucket. They come back with switching defenses to keep Indiana off balance at the offensive end.
11 minutes to play. A.J. Guyton is 0 for 2 from the field.
They want to get back into this basketball game. They must find him and get him going. But look, they have focused on him with the awareness defense.
Pass from Jimenez, too low for Newton to handle. Tazell Archie fires it inside. Shepard on a kick out. Gibbs will take the three and hits.
Now all of a sudden Pepperdine is reawakened. They look like the team that started this basketball game for the first 10 minutes. They're going to try to put the knockout punch away.
54-38. Gibbs went for the steal. Jimenez gives it up on the baseline. Newton has it knocked away. And Armstrong tracks it down. Here's Archie on a bounce. Jumper. Lewis. He's got it for three.
Rhythm, rotation, and talk it over, Coach.
8-0 Pepperdine run, and they lead it 57-38. A timeout.
Four airbags, a steel safety cage, and a whiplash protection seating system. All the safety you'd expect in a Volvo. At a price you may not. Introducing the Volvo S40.
Great walk, huh, Jake? Your next call.
Just when you think Indiana's going to fight their way back, Pepperdine starts to pick up the tempo at the offensive end, and they start raining jump shots down. Gibbs knocking one down, getting a good look. Where's the defensive reaction? And they keep the pressure on. Shot after shot, bang. All of a sudden you look up and the lead has been stretched.
Jan Van Bredekoff's team lost to Gonzaga in the West Coast Conference Championship game. They got in as an at-large bid. Van Bredekoff told us initially really wasn't feeling nervous at all. He thought they definitely had a spot. But then Arkansas, St. Louis, some upsets. And that was changing the thought process out on the West Coast as Fife misses from long range.
Changing the comfort level of getting into this March run.
On a turnaround jump shot, Nick Shepard. And Pepperdine is beginning to pull away. A 10-0 run. They've got their largest lead, 21.
Gives you the impression that they have 6 and 7 guys on the floor. The enthusiasm is just, and the energy that they're showing right now is incredible.
Jumper for Hornsby. And Kyle Hornsby trying to give this team a lift. 7 points off the bench. A 10-2 scoring run over the last minute 40. Gibbs gives it up. Coming up on 9 minutes to play. Gibbs looking for position. Head and shoulder fake. Rainbow shot, no.
Maybe a little bit of a force. Not many bad shots, though, by Pepperdine.
Here's Guyton. What's going on through his mind?
He's struggling is what's going on through his mind.
Long lead pass. Lewis is there to finish it off. And Pepperdine is piling on. 16 Indiana turnovers.
Guyton just looks unsure of himself.
Turning the corner and a foul call.
A situation where you get the steals, you get the turnovers. They force 19 of them. They steal the ball, and what do they do with it? They try to push. 22-8 on the fast break points.
Jimmy, I know there are no answers, definitive answers to this, but you've got a star in A.J. Guyton. The average is over 20 points per game. He's played in big games before. First round NCAA tournament. Why? Why does something like this happen where it's one thing where if he's just not shooting the ball well, it's another if he's just not getting shots off.
It goes back to the strategy that Pepperdine had. And we talked to Jan Van Bredekoff about it. He calls it the awareness defense, aware of which player you want to focus in on. And as we've talked about it this entire game, when you look up and Guyton has the ball, how many times has he been standing there with the basketball wide open? They've just focused in on him, and they've done a good job. I don't know so much if it's Guyton just not showing up. It's being taken out of the basketball game.
But he plays in a good conference, the Big Ten. You'd figure somewhere along the line this would have happened before.
I hear what you're saying. I think it's more defense than him going into a shell.
They're still attacking Pepperdine, and Lewis hits a three.
And they're attacking with confidence. I mean, some teams pull back the throttle when they have big leads. Their strategy has been, let's keep putting the hammer down here. They have not backed off a bit.
This is their largest lead. There's the jump shot for Odell, side rim. And Indiana is going one and done.
And don't forget, Indiana as a team relies on Guyton also. Now they're sensing that they know what's been going on here, that he's not playing well, he's not scoring, and it's contagious. They're looking for him to pick up the slack, and it's just not there.
Timeout, 7:45 to play, and the 11 seed all over the 6 seed in Buffalo.
Happy St. Patrick's Day from Everybody Loves Raymond.
Drive the car. Get the ball. Test drive a new Oldsmobile. Get a $50 certificate toward the ball or any other sports gear from MVP.com. Go to Oldsmobile.com for details. Then drive the car and get the ball.
A computer that is so last century. Introducing iPac, the first internet device for business. A kinder, simpler device with the Intel Pentium 3 processor that taps into the power of the internet and meets all your business computing needs. The age of simple internet computing has arrived. iPac from Compaq.
I've known this guy 5 minutes. He's already giving me investment advice.
For a recommendation on your portfolio, please press 3.
I'm gonna pay for this. What was I
Should my 401k be all stock? Should my 401k be all cash?
Why didn't they write this last month?
My portfolio should be overweighted in game companies.
Why does this guy think what works for him? It's gonna work for me.
Thank you, Painweber.
No down payment. Low financing on Honda Valkyries and Goldwings. Low payments on Valkyrie, Shadows, and Magnas with the Honda card. It's the road to savings. Incredible deals on some incredible Hondas. So hurry to your Honda dealer during the road to savings.
Beginning Tuesday, April 4th, CBS presents an extraordinary television event. Falcone, the FBI's best agent, is going deeper into the mob than anyone's been before. Don't miss this compelling new drama. CBS, Tuesday, April 4th. Kirk Haston, the redshirt sophomore, came in averaging 16 points, 8.5 rebounds, but played only 2 minutes of action tonight. Suffering a knee injury, second team all Big Ten, and that presence down on the low post has been sorely missed.
Absolutely, especially when you factor in Guyton not being able to get shots off.
Lalazarian draws the foul as Richardson went for the block shot.
Because when you have a big guy on the floor, you can at least dump it down to him, and it releases some of the pressure at the wing and the perimeter. So there wasn't that factor as much without him on the floor. Bob Knight and company have had their problems getting their shots off with this tenacious defense that Pepperdine has put up on them.
At the free throw line, Lalazarian. We spoke with Jan Van Vredekov yesterday and asked him in serious tones, have your players ever seen snow before? It was snowing hard here in Buffalo. He said, hey, yeah, we're 2-0 in snow this year. We won at Wichita State and won at Northwestern, so might be something in in the stars, so to speak, for this Pepperdine team. Some of the best weather you'll find anywhere in the world out in Malibu.
And he did reference, though, that those trips were the first few times if there was some of those players had ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's guys who grew up in the Northeast like we did. It's a weird sensation.
Armstrong off the deflection and the steal. And Pepperdine with a 66-41 lead, and a rare mistake.
Very rare.
Van Brudikoff telling Armstrong, I want to see the ball fake.
Well, that's how coaches are. I think they're winning pretty big, aren't they?
Van Brudikoff, the 1974 SEC Player of the Year. Spent 9 years in the NBA as a player. Came out of Vanderbilt. Came off the side of the backboard. Here's Armstrong. Tommy Prince into the hands of Lewis, who has played well off the bench with a couple of long-distance bombs. Lewis on a bounce, backdoor, and Prince with a finish.
It's school time, and that's exactly what's happening right now. They are taking Indiana out of their famed defensive man-to-man sets. Guyton not even looking for shots.
A.J. Guyton, what an uncharacteristic performance it's been, and Indiana has completely unraveled. We looked it up, and the closest we could find similar to this performance back on February 22nd in the game against Illinois, Guyton was 1 of 5 from the field.
Just been totally taken out of any type of offensive performance. Sometimes people would say a player has disappeared. Statistically, he has disappeared from a shooting standpoint, but turnovers, no problem.
Another cut by Prince, and this time they'll get him for an offensive foul with 6:07 to play. A little bit more on the Pepperdine Waves out of Malibu, California, as we take a look at their yearbook. They come out of the West Coast Conference. Famous alumni, Dennis Johnson, Kim Fields. That's Tootie from the Facts of Life.
Tootie. There's Tootie down that end.
Moody Tootie on the monster jam.
Dennis Johnson type defense is what we're seeing.
And can you believe this score? 70-41. Jump shot for Hornsby. It's a 3.
They're basically trying to make it look respectable right now.
And there were a lot of people that looked at the bracket here in the East and said, oh, what about that coaching matchup, second round?
Right.
Bobby Knight, Eddie Sutton, 2 legends. It's not going to happen.
Unless some type of miracle occurs here in the last 5:20, I'm on board with you. I mean, this has been a great display of aggressive offensive basketball.
Prince is fouled on the outside. Worst NCAA tournament loss for Indiana. Just have to go back to last year, 86-61. A 25-point defeat at the hands of St. John's. Second round action. And you feel for a player like A.J. Guyton. Stayed the full 4 years. Came back for his senior season. Trying to win a championship. He has never won a championship at any level. And if this is the way he's going to end his college career, it's a bitter pill.
The thing about him this year, against top 25 teams, he's averaged close to 26 points a game. So he has responded in big games. Just got lost in the shuffle tonight.
Here's Richardson, the leaner, and he cans it. And one thing about Guyton this year, watching him a number of times on television, he always seemed to get his shot off despite his size. He's 6'1". But getting that shot off didn't appear to be a problem.
Well, they usually had been running him off screens, and he's very good at coming off screens, but with these different defenses, the rotations were pretty good to attract bodies to him on the offensive end.
Nick Shepard now with 17 points to go along with 7 rebounds. Here's Newton, leaning jump shot. An athletic underclassman. Strength, though, is not there yet. That will develop. He's 6'9", 215. Jump shot doesn't go for Armstrong. And a foul called as Indiana got it across. Let's take a look at the CBS Sportsline stat of the game, and we'll focus in on three-point shooting. Pepperdine, 9 for 16. They came in a 35% shooting team from three-point range. Indiana just 2 of 11. Get complete NCAA tournament coverage at cbs.sportsline.com. Michael Lewis, another senior, a feisty leader. At the free throw line, we'll see Al Minahan check into the game as Armstrong and Prince go to the bench.
Dan Van Bredekoff has also done a pretty good job of keeping fresh bodies on the floor. When you're playing this type of level of play at both ends of the floor, you need fresh bodies to a group. They don't look too tired.
This comes out of left field. And we'll keep it there until the timeout is over. 73-49. Get into something else when we come back to Buffalo.
Una chela?
Chela? Yeah, I'll never understand Mexican women.
Why? We're just like Puerto Rican women.
Well, when I want a Miller Lite, I just say vieja, and you say...
Una chela, por favor.
And I drink mine straight from the bottle. You?
I like mine in a tall, slender glass.
Well, I drink Miller Lite because it tastes great.
And I because it has a smooth, dare I say, sexy finish.
I'm beginning to understand.
Grab a Miller Lite. It's Miller time.
Una chela, por favor.
There's always a combination of taking your knowledge and applying it. For example, I know who the shooter is. I know what he does, what he thinks, under stress, how he'll act, what's his favorite thing to do, what's his least favorite thing to do. And I got most of my rebounds before he took the shot.
Knowledge is the edge. Call your advisor or Invesco about the Growth and Income Fund. You should know what Invesco knows.
You know, it's times like these, I think about the wide track Grand Prix. Its speed-sensitive steering gives you road-gripping control, so even tight corners won't get you off track. Oh, the wide track Grand Prix. Wider is better. By Pontiac.
Introducing the biggest, boldest player in the Colonel's sandwich lineup.
My spicy triple crunch zinger.
Not one, not two, but 3 big strips of white meat chicken, plus the Colonel's spicy zinger sauce. Try one today for just $1.99.
Booyah!
Enterprise? You rented our car from Enterprise?
Yeah.
Why Enterprise?
Because they pick us up. Free.
A free pickup? Wow, they ought to be #1.
They are #1.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
Hate and intolerance are destroying lives. Now Chuck Norris fights America's fiercest enemy.
We're going to need all the help we can get on this one.
All new Walker, CBS Saturday.
Game summary, 73-49. Pepperdine jumped out early, and they have just continued that wave throughout. 47% from the field. Indiana did not shoot the ball with any consistency right from the start. The absence of Kirk Haston has not helped the Hoosiers' cause. Under 4 minutes to play, the final game in Buffalo today.
Sure, Eddie Sutton at Oklahoma State checking this game out, trying to figure out what's the best way to prepare for a team that constantly switches defenses.
Here's Newton, short on a jump shot. Tom Coverdale has checked into the game. And Indiana will hold on to the ball with 3:36 left. See David Lalazarian come in once again. And A.J. Guyton left. And just his thoughts, I'm sure so much spinning around his head. 4 years here at Indiana, not the way he envisioned his career wrapping up.
Well, and he will not be remembered as a player who kind of disappeared. I mean, he had a terrific career at Indiana. It's just unfortunate. Some nights you put up a dud. It happens to all players.
What I was going to talk about before the timeout, going back to your playing days, NCAA tournament. Do you remember playing early games as opposed to late games in the tournament? Curious about playing the final game here. Nobody is accustomed to tipping a game off at about 10:40 at night.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's no question that this is difficult for guys playing basketball games. And think it through. Pepperdine is their bodies might be 3 hours earlier.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, and they played like it really started at 4 in the afternoon.
But do you remember any cause and effects as Kyle Hornsby knocks down the jump shot at Duke?
Not so much late, but sometimes when you played on a Saturday afternoon, you know, that would get you once in a while. But for the most part, there was a regular pattern to it. This really does throw you off. But you could say that it should really affect Pepperdine more if you're going to push into that. (73-51), and Bob Knight has been vocal through the years about late games, taking teams out of their normal regimen, and it just so happened that he drew the late one in this East Regional bracket. A lot of controversy throughout the week that Bob Knight has dealt with, and right now it's all prosperity for the Pepperdine Waves out of Malibu, California. Tazell Archie at the free throw line, and even 3 minutes to play. And Archie was the playmaker that Van Bredikoff needed so desperately to get this program to the next level, the NCAA tournament. They came up short last year. Lorenzo Romar did a great job with this program before moving on to St. Louis. But a different style. Jan put in a style that was different and rarely predicated on a lot of guys getting touches. It's just not 1 or 2 guys, as we've seen this evening. Passing the basketball, no one focal point. Whoever's in a position to shoot can shoot.
And Hornsby throws it away. Tomorrow's action in the 2000 NCAA tournament. First game out of the box, Kentucky and Syracuse in the Midwest. Tip-off time scheduled for 1:10 Eastern. And a great second-round matchup with two of the great names in college basketball, consistent winners year in and year out, Syracuse and Kentucky.
Jim Boeheim's squad starting out so strongly this year, and then like a light switch, they had some problems 3/4 of the way through, so you just don't know what type of production they're going to come up with.
Here's the jump shot from Minahan. Tom Geyer is coming to the game for Indiana. Sophomore. Jump shot doesn't go down for Fife. Trying to follow it, and Fife continues to fight and claw for every loose ball, and if it's Fife, that's it. And it's Fife, his 5th foul. Also tomorrow in the West, 4-5 matchup, LSU and Texas. And in the Midwest, top seed Michigan State taking on 8th seeded Utah.
The number 1 seed Michigan State that I'm sure a lot of people are figuring will make to the Final Four and maybe a run at the championship this year.
Nothing but effort today from Dane Fife, the sophomore. But he has gotten the quota. 5 fouls. Lewis missing on the first attempt. The final 2 minutes and change. Obviously, the Haston injury, a major factor here tonight. But Indiana just did not look crisp right from the start. Jump shot for Jeff Newton.
You're absolutely correct on that one. I mean, it's been a situation where they weren't allowed to get into their offensive sets. The defense was very, very quick for Pepperdine. I was pretty shocked, to be honest with you. The intensity stayed up for the first 20 minutes, especially.
Robert Fonby, good in a foul. Fonby, a senior, and he will go to the free throw line. Also tomorrow, second round action. Purdue and Oklahoma in the West. In the Midwest, it's Auburn and Iowa State, and out west, top seeded Arizona taking on Wisconsin.
Does the name Marcus Fizer pop up?
Wow.
Yes. That'll be a little test there.
Is that a specimen?
Wow. He is just, I have been nothing but impressed with him, and the way he just uses his body to establish position, and then once he gets it, make things happen.
And wrapping things up with Gonzaga out west taking on St. John's, coming out of the same conference as the Pepperdine Waves. Final minute 40 here in Buffalo.
UCLA, another team that's very dangerous.
Jump shot for Kyle Hornsby, and Hornsby is 6 of 6 from the field, 15 points. Here's Minahan giving it up. Jump shot doesn't go down for Boomer Brazel. And Newton with the board.
Just running it out right now. Thinking about the next matchup, your Jan Van Bredikoff.
Now the day started off with a bang. Seton Hall defeating Oregon in overtime on a last-second shot by Shaheen Holloway. But after that, it's been round after round. And the jump shot for Tom Geyer goes down.
And I don't think if you took a poll, not many people would have expected this type of route in this game.
No doubt.
I have to say that a lot of people don't think Pepperdine can play with teams like Indiana because they clearly can, but a little bit of a shot.
Randy Roy missing that jump shot for Pepperdine. Fight for the loose ball out off of the Coverdale miss. And the final 24 seconds. Pepperdine. Shot clock has been turned off. Another early exit for Indiana. And Pepperdine will ride the wave into the second round. A surprise here in Buffalo. The 11th seeded Waves have knocked off 6th seeded Indiana. 77-57 the final. Jan Van Bredikoff's team advances on to the second round where they will meet 3rd seeded Oklahoma State. Got a victory over Hofstra earlier. Seton Hall moves on with a win over Oregon, and Temple knocked off Lafayette earlier today. Our Chevrolet players of the game: Brandon Armstrong, 22 points, 18 in the first half. Kyle Hornsby, 15 points for Indiana. That'll do it from Buffalo. For Jim Spadarkle, Dwayne Vallon, this is Ian Eagle. 77-57. Pepperdine wins it over Indiana. To New York we go. And Greg Gumbel.
All right, Ian, so the Indiana Hoosiers 6th seed in the East, the highest seed to lose in the tournament in the 2 days thus far. Let's take you to Nashville. South Region action, Arkansas and Miami. They take a timeout with 34.9 to play, and the Hurricanes with a 72-67 lead. Arkansas has been trying to rekindle what they had found in the postseason tournament all game long, and they haven't quite gotten there, Clark.
And they may just run out of time, although down by 5, and with their ability to knock down the three-point shot and force turnovers, they've still got an opportunity here.
The Miami Hurricanes, a 6th seed as the Hoosiers were, but they hold the advantage over Arkansas. Let's take you there live and join Tim Brando and Rolando Black.
72-67. This is as close as Arkansas has been. They trailed by 10 at the intermission. They had gotten it to 8 on 2 occasions in the second half. Miami's been so strong. Brandon Dean is fouled out. Joe Johnson had left the game earlier. Chris Walker is out of the game. Nolan Richardson's team, with a couple of steals, has clawed to within 5. This is an 8-0 run they're in the midst of, but no timeouts remaining. So the only way he can stop the clock is with a foul.
Giving themselves an opportunity, though, right here, too. And this is what we've been waiting for the whole game, for Arkansas to show some consistency, not only defensively, but also on the offensive end, to be able to give themselves successive times in which they put the ball right in the hole.
Now, he wanted to make the substitution to get Dionisio Gomez in, but it was a bit too late. Mario Bland will trigger it in for Miami. Salmons, they go over the top again to Jennings. A steal by Gibson. He has numbers over Bland. Yes! 72-69, 24 ticks left. What a remarkable comeback by these Cardiac kids from Fayetteville.
Now we get into the free throw shooting contest.
A 10-0 run that Leonard Hamilton has seen his Miami Hurricanes give up. And here's Teddy Gibson just willing this one through off the window.
Just an athletic ability right there, too. He takes the bump and is still able to put it through.
2 shots for Bland. Uh-oh. Oh, what a time for the iron unkind. He's 5 out of 8 at the stripe. Again, no timeouts remaining, a 2-possession game. Johnson is #1 threat for 3. Too strong. Retrieved by Jennings. They need a quick foul. A sneak out for Jones. That should do it. Gibson with the quick layup. But they needed a 3. And Miami will advance. They will take on Ohio State. But the Razorbacks till the bitter end, sending a message not only about their SEC tournament title, but about their future with Nolan Richardson's little puppies.
They made it very interesting and very exciting at the end of the basketball game. But coming up next year, you'll understand and know that Nolan Richardson and also his squad of young puppies, as you put it, are going to be ready to be some dogs.
Yeah, that's what he calls them. The 15-year head coach of the Razorbacks, losing for the first time in the first round of the NCAA tournament, cutting it to 3 with a 10-0 run against the Big East co-champions. But Hamilton's team hangs on to win it, down by 15 with 7 minutes to play, with a shot at tying the game late. There you see our bracket. No breakers here in Nashville. 7th-seeded Tulsa against 2nd-seeded Cincinnati on Sunday. Miami against Ohio State on the other side. And our Chevrolet players of the game, Joe Johnson of Arkansas, tough night for him. 13 points, 5 boards, and 3 assists. Johnny Hemsley, 20 points, 3 boards on 5 of 10 shooting from downtown. For Rolando Blackman and Jimmy Dykes, Tim Brando saying so long from Nashville. Brett Gumbel and Clark Kellogg in New York when we come back.
Doing more, performing at my best, uses up nutrients.
New Centrum Performance helps replace them with more key B vitamins plus ginseng and ginkgo.
It helps energize my mind and body. Life's demanding, but I thrive on it.
Centrum Performance. Life demands it.
Call it a bonanza, an extravaganza. It's how you save on tires. Now at Pep Boys, all 35,000-mile tires are 4 for only $99, and all 70,000-mile tires 4 for $169. Pep Boys.
Cars like us.
People love us.
Do these eyes belong to your doctor? Do they belong to your child's bus driver? To your pharmacist? Your pilot? Or to the guy in the other lane? Get the deep sleep you need, the kind of sleep you get on a bed that uniquely cradles and supports your body as no other bed does. The crown jewel from Sealy Posturepedic. We support you night and day.
Faster, more reliable, higher quality, more profitable. Nortel Networks is building the new high-performance internet, and it can be whatever you want it to be. So tell us, what do you want the internet to be?
Come together right now over me.
As American as country music, genuine, irresistible, the original song of the South. Applebee's invites you to try something new. Chicken fried chicken. A whole boneless breast, marinated and breaded. Then chicken fried Southern style, so it's crispy on the outside and juicy on the inside. Complement it with traditional fixins, and you've got Applebee's chicken fried chicken. As unique as Nashville, as American as Applebee's.
Welcome back, everyone. Greg Gumbel in New York. The last game of the night is being contested in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Under a minute to play. Lamar and Duke. Let's send you there right now. Jim Nance and Billy Packer.
Casey Sanders will go to the line. We are 42 seconds away from having the entire second round field set. And it's only going to be the second round, but the tournament, Billy, is more than half over.
Yeah, that's right. Because 64 down to 32.
Well, but
Jim,
32
you are
games.
A mathematic genius, aren't you?
82 games down, only 31 to go to determine our champion for 2000.
Sanders, as you've seen, Jim, on the minutes that he's played tonight, not quite strong enough to be a finisher down in the low post. But with his speed, size, leaping ability, a little bit more strength, It's going to be a major factor in the future for this Duke program, and there are the moments a senior always hates to have to face.
Senior from Memphis, Tennessee. No one can say the Cardinals didn't come here and give it their all tonight.
Absolutely.
Hey, they were until about the 2-minute mark in the first half. There was some magic going on in this building. They were within 3 of Duke. A late surge before the intermission, a Nate James 3 gave them the 44-33 halftime lead. Second half really never pushed. Where the Blue Devils, good pass, head away to the line. Later today, if you will, the second round gets underway, and all of you will start with Kentucky-Syracuse. How about that one?
Well, Jim, something's got to give here with these power conferences starting tomorrow. You know, they have advanced everybody. I'm talking about the SECs, the Big Easts, the Big Tens, and I don't mean everybody. There have been a couple of losses in there, the Big 12, and now you have a situation where they're going to start playing some head-to-head games. It's going to be interesting to see how they fall out there. But what I said before of what's left in the tournament, the 32 teams, they can all win their next game. And you may want to nitpick a little bit with me, but I think most of them can win 5 more.
No, I do agree with you, Billy. Landon Rowe goes out. The senior completes his career. What a closing stretch he had. Had a 39-point game this year. Held to 10 tonight. Buckner
almost gets it to drop.
The foul is on number 33.
Well, those guys have nothing to feel ashamed about at all. They did everything they could against the nation's #1 seeded and probably #1 team, at least at the end of this season.
Ranked #1 at the end of the regular season. 2 shots for Buckner. Billy, we can say this. Pepperdine knocks off a 6 tonight convincingly. And that's the highest seed to lose in the tournament, Indiana. But since the tournament went to 64 teams, it's the first time ever that the top 5 seeds in every region survive the opening round. What a second round ahead. Duke advances, will take on Kansas here on Sunday. Mike Krzyzewski's 49th all-time tournament win.
He's chasing history there as well.
He'll go for 50 on Sunday, and if his Blue Devils were to make it to Indianapolis, if they were to get 3 more wins, he would have 500 wins at Duke in his career. The Chevrolet most valuable players are Kenyon Spears of Lamar. What a first half he had with 14, 19 for the game. Jason Williams, 18 points, 7 assists, no turnovers from Duke. Chevrolet makes a contribution to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students. What a day, Billy. I've enjoyed it. We'll see you Sunday. Greg and Clark will continue on the road to the Final Four in just a moment.
Four airbags, a steel safety cage, and a whiplash protection seating system. All the safety you'd expect in a Volvo. At a price you may not. Introducing the Volvo S40.
Great walk, huh, Jake? Your next call.
Sickness, the final frontier. Rice?
You got it.
Thank you. Boils. The train's coming into the station. It's just not stopping. That's the one. Anything for that? Yahtzee! See you next week. Even at the drugstore, you can do more with the American Express card.
All right, Kowalski, Russo,
O'Brien.
The rest of you.
See you next week. Pipe down!
It is more than a trial by fire. It is a rite of passage. And if you can master your fear, outsmart your enemy, and never yield even to yourself, you will be changed forever. The few, the proud, the Marines.
There's a place in America where the sun shines a little brighter in the month of March, where the townfolk reminisce of peach baskets and parquet, where the fruits of hard labor are served up with a smile.
Freshly baked finger rolls.
And folks who visit are always invited to stay as long as they can. Welcome to Bracketville.
Team inherit Pizza Hut empire.
We're going to create the ultimate cheese pizza.
Is one cheese ultimate? I don't think so.
6 cheeses. That was me. I'm off to Wisconsin to get some more cheese.
The new Ultimate Cheese Pizza, loaded with the topping of your choice. 6 kinds of cheese, 50% more of it, and an incredible price. $8.99 medium, large, just $2 more.
It's a good price. We're not millionaires.
Well, you are.
Oh, yeah.
The Ultimate Cheese Pizza from Pizza Hut. Another one of the best pizzas under one roof.
Here's your regular homepage. Here's i1.com. It's free. You use it like Yahoo, Lycos, or other search engines. Only i1.com gives away $10,000 every day, $1 million a month, and $10 million on tax day. Which one would you choose?
$10 million with no strings attached?
Yep.
It's a good thing she didn't know about this last year.
Introducing i1.com. Why wouldn't you?
Welcome back to our studios in New York, everyone. Along with Clark Kellogg, I'm Greg Gumbel. What a day all the way around, top to bottom, in the NCAA tournament. Let's recap what happened for you late this evening. The Duke Blue Devils, top seeds in the East with a victory over the Lamar Cardinals. The Indiana Hoosiers knocked out by Pepperdine. Pepperdine's wave 77-57 winners over the Hoosiers, and the Hoosiers the highest seed to exit the tournament. Arkansas, a loser to the Miami Hurricanes, 75-71, and in Birmingham, the Stanford Cardinal, the top seed in the South, 84-65. Clark, for the first time since the tournament went to a 64-team field, the top 5 seeds in each region have advanced beyond the first round.
And you know what? Looking ahead to the matchups that are going to come up tomorrow and Sunday, you're going to have very competitive games. Again, in 32 games, we've had 11 games decided by 5 or less. 4 of those games have gone to overtime with 1 double overtime game. I hope we can match the drama this coming weekend.
Of course we will. What are you concerned about?
I think you're right, Greg.
All right. We will set things for you beginning at noon tomorrow with the Road to the Final Four show. And then here are the games coming your way. Beginning at about 1:10 p.m., it'll be Kentucky's Wildcats against the Orangemen of Syracuse in the Midwest. Then around 3:20 p.m., we'll take you to the West, where Texas will meet LSU. In the Midwest, Utah against top seed Michigan State. Then around 5:30, out of the West, Purdue and Oklahoma, and Wisconsin against Arizona. In the Midwest, Auburn against Iowa State. And then our 4th round of games at around 7:55 tomorrow evening, Gonzaga and St. John's out of the West, UCLA, and 3rd seed Maryland in the Midwest. Coming up next for many of you, your late local news, followed by The Late Show with David Letterman. That wraps up a very long and a terrific day here in the NCAA tournament. For Clark Kellogg and for all of us here at CBS Sports, I'm Greg Gumbel. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you at noon Eastern time tomorrow here on CBS.
He's in the garage.
Hey! If you're going to have a garage, have a garage. And if you're going to use an oil, use an oil. Pennzoil with Pure Base, specially formulated for stop-and-go driving.
Like what I've done with the place? Hey, what does this do? Well, that opens up the roof so I can airlift anything in or out of the garage.
Stop. Go. Pennzoil.
Drive the car, get the ball. Test drive a new Oldsmobile, get a $50 certificate toward the ball or any other sports gear from MVP.com. Go to Oldsmobile.com for details. Then drive the car and get the ball.
Until now, there has been a wall between you and the tools of serious trading. That wall is coming down. The information and technology professionals use to trade is now available to everyone. Daytech Online. The rules are changing.
People, you can come out now. Look, I've got the wireless internet right here in my hand. No wires, no tricks, news, sports, shop, all online. And crystal clear calls, all right here. On Sprint PCS. That's right. Come on out. Welcome back to the world.
Experience the power of the Sprint PCS wireless web.
Through its youth education through sports clinics, the NCAA fosters the dreams of children in sport and in life. Focusing on the discipline, confidence, and dedication involved in sports, student athletes can apply fundamentals both on and off the field. When it comes to playing with a purpose, just say yes.
Before you do this or this or this, you want to have this and this and this.
You'd be surprised how much of our technology goes into your day.
So for this or this or this.
We're Siemens.
We can do that.
For Jag, the address is CBS.
Up to here in off-road is no time to discover your truck's off-road package is little more than decals, when what you really need is a burly, overbuilt suspension. Solid steel and high-tech composite skid plates, big, honking 17-inch wheels, and special tires. The new and very different 2001 Dodge Ram Off-Roadster. It draws a new line in the mud. Now get a $1,000 cash allowance on 2000 model year Rams.
Need a lift?
Yeah, thanks a lot.
Sack of 10, please. Want one?
Thanks. Okay, you can let me off here.
White Castle, what you crave. Right now, get a free Crave Clip when you buy a sack of 10.
You can't get through there. No, I can do this. Just chip out. I can get through there. Just chip it out. I can get through there, watch. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I guess I should have chipped out, huh?
Custom clubs for greater accuracy. Chipshot.com.
Why are people tossing their yellow pages? There's something better. Switchboard.com, a free directory powered by the internet. It's business listings, it's people search, it's maps and directions. It's faster, and it's a smarter way to find everything in your town and places your yellow pages doesn't cover. Don't take our word for it. Listen to your neighbors. Switchboard.com. Think outside the book.
This is the 10 o'clock news, reported by Carol Marie.
Good evening, I'm David Curley. Carol Marie is off tonight. 3 Chicago police officers were fired tonight, fired for their role in the shooting death of Latanya Haggerty, an unarmed motorist killed last summer. The Chicago Police Board followed the lead of the police superintendent by dismissing the 3 officers and suspending a fourth. Kyung Law has the decision and a look at why this case may not be over yet.
It's a trauma every day, but we got a little good news today that helps.
That good news for Maurice Haggerty is that 3 of the Chicago police officers involved in the fatal shooting of his sister, LaTanya Haggerty, are fired. The police board announced that decision at a late news conference. Officer Serena Daniels, who unloaded the fatal shot, was fired. The board also fired Officer Michael Williams and Officer Stafford Wilson. The only officer keeping his job, Officer Carl Carter, suspended until July 12th of this year.
The primary issue was the firing of a weapon. Carl Carter did not discharge his weapon.
The 4 officers confronted LaTanya Haggerty on June 4th last year. She was a passenger of a car officers were chasing. Officer Daniels told the board she thought Haggerty had a gun in her hand. It was a padlock.
It sends it to every man and woman out there knowing don't get in trouble because this police board is going to fire you because public opinion is going to rule.
Fraternal Order of Police President Bill Nolan says the decision is unfair but expected. What he didn't expect, that the board would announce the decision late on Friday before St. Patrick's Day weekend.
They don't answer questions as to what they did and why they did it.
Nolan says the board should have heard the actual testimony instead of reading transcripts after the hearings were over.
The equity there is just, it's so far removed from what society demands, and we'll appeal it. Hopefully some judge will listen to the facts and reverse the police board.
In a statement, Police Superintendent Terry Hillard said he was a little disappointed in the decision, saying he has complete confidence in his earlier decision that the conduct of all 4 officers warranted separation. For the Haggerty family, they say this was the first step toward what they want.
It was a little relief, just a little bit. You know, until we get them prosecuted, then it'll be hallelujah.
Kyung Law, CBS 2, Chicago.
The Cook County State's Attorney told us tonight there are no plans for criminal charges. The Haggerty family has filed a civil lawsuit against the 4 officers. And reaction to the police board's decision tonight from the Reverend Jesse Jackson, who spent this day talking to suburban police chiefs about racial profiling. Jackson says Chicago's dismissals are not enough. He wants those officers prosecuted.
We must stop the excessive force. We must stop the killing and stop police with their superior powers from being trigger happy. We deserve protection from police, not profiling and killings.
Tonight, Jackson rallied with Highland Park police officers who contend there is racial profiling in the City Day Patrol. Earlier, Mr. Jackson held a summit with North Shore police chiefs. Jackson characterized racial profiling, stopping motorists because of their race, as a cancer that must be removed. Major development in the battle over guns. The country's second largest gun maker, Smith & Wesson, has reached a deal with the government. The company won't let weapons be sold at a gun show unless a background check is done. And safety gun locks will be installed on all of its new weapons. In exchange, all government lawsuits against Smith & Wesson are going to be dropped. Gun control advocates point out Smith & Wesson is already putting safety locks on its guns, but others say this agreement is important because gun manufacturers have always stuck together until now. A cliffhanger in the NCAA tournament play tonight, with the DePaul Blue Demons providing the March Madness excitement. DePaul fans stayed glued to their TVs in bars and homes around the city as the Blue Demons battled the Kansas Jayhawks into overtime tonight. The Blue Demons were up by 6 in OT, and then the critical moment came when Kansas came back and clinched the win. One of 2 NCAA games today featuring Illinois teams, and this one was a heartbreaker. Howard Sudbury is here with more on both of them. Howard?
Shortly after that, people were throwing things at the TV set. It was frustrating to watch. DePaul fans have waited 8 years for this NCAA game, and they should have seen another one on Sunday. The Demons led by 6 late in overtime, but let it get away. Kansas a winner, 81-77. And here is what changed the game. How much? We'll never know. Quentin Richardson fighting for a rebound goes down, re-injuring his left ankle, and it's too bad because he was 3 for 3 from the field before that. Off to a great start in the game with 8 points. Hot and heavy battle. Roy Williams fires the coat as this one goes back and forth. Q hung in there, gutted it out, and had a chance to win the game right here in regulation. It was a little bit long, and it goes to overtime. That's when DePaul built that 6-point lead and then blew the game. Bad pass. Kenny Gregory steals and soars. He's gone. Tie game. Then Kansas up by 3. One last chance. Quentin Richardson, Q to tie. The shot is blocked, and DePaul is out. Outscored 10-0 over the last 2 minutes of overtime. Q said the obvious, that the ankle was bothering him.
I rolled it real bad, and I really couldn't get like real explosive going either way. Because if I tried to push off my foot, it was kind of weak.
You just had some errors down the stretch of turnovers, and then you missed a few foul shots, and you allowed somebody to knock down a 3. So you just have a few individual plays at the very end of the game that make that game go one way or the other.
Unfortunately for DePaul, it went the other. Earlier today, the Fighting Illini moved on to round 2, beating Penn 68-58. Freshman Frankie Williams played with the poise of a tournament-tested senior. He hit a couple of threes in a row in the first half as Illinois went up by 14. Penn made a run, but the Illini shook him off. Williams alley-ooping for Cleotis Brown. Illinois moves on. 21 points for their cool freshman, Frank Williams.
You put me in any situation, I think, you know, it narrows down to how tough you can be. And I think I have a big heart as a freshman.
It's a tough game. Feels good to get through it and still be playing.
Yeah, they'll be playing Florida next. And if you haven't seen how they won, stick around. If you have seen it, it is worth another look. It's Illinois and Florida on Sunday. A lot of great games today, David.
Yeah, but DePaul had it in their hands.
Oh, they did.
Lost it.
I think I jinxed them. I told the guys it's all over when they went up 6, and it was.
Yeah, it was, unfortunately. Howard, thank you. We'll see in a bit. Well, high school athletic programs often need to raise money for their teams. A suburban high school is trying a controversial new approach. They are bringing in a show featuring a team of professional wrestlers, and they're selling a lot of tickets. But as Mike Parker tells us, not everybody is sold on the idea.
The Polish Crippler! There he is, the star of the professional wrestling show that's coming tomorrow to Waubonsee Valley High School in Aurora.
Oh, punch to the face.
A booking company called Windy City Pro Wrestling will bring its stars to the high school for 2 different shows. Windy City promises battling women in the ring and what the company calls midget wrestling with somebody called the Lone Eagle. There's been intense preparation all week at Waubonsee Valley with meetings between school administrators and the show's organizers.
In the matinee, we'll have 5 matches, and in the evening, approximately 7 or 8 matches.
By showtime on Saturday, the high school gymnasium will be transformed into a suburban version of the Roman Coliseum. The idea is to raise money for school teams and clubs, and tickets, we're assured, are selling well. The hope is to bring in up to $30,000, more than any candy or bake sale could.
We thought this would be something that the kids would really attend, and it'd be fun for them.
The pro wrestling thing is such a big thing with high school kids. All the guys always go to each other's houses on Sundays and Monday nights. It's always on in my house.
But as you might have guessed, the plan to bring this kind of event into a school where there is zero tolerance for violence does not seem like a good idea to everyone. Dr. Barbara Bowman is president of the Erickson Institute for Child Development.
I think that's a special obligation of schools to make sure that the kinds of programs they present are ones that provide role models for their children.
If they don't want to go to the wrestling thing, they don't have to go. I mean, if they don't like it, you know, no one's forcing you to go.
Rudy Keller is Waubonsee's vice principal.
It's an optional event. If people don't want to come to see it, they don't have to. And you're right, because we get people that balk at candy sales at some of our dance programs.
Keller has been working closely on plans for the show with promoter Sam DeCero.
Now, there are some parents that might say, well, it's too violent to bring into a high school as a fundraiser. Well, that's not true, because while they're complaining about how violent it is, their kids are probably watching Monday Nitro or WWF Raw. We've never had a problem, nor have we ever had negative feedback as far as being too violent.
So bring on the smaller than average grapplers and the ladies and the Polish crippler. The show will go on. Mike Parker, CBS 2, Chicago.
School officials admit they have had some complaints about the nature of the show, but as you heard, they say those who are offended should stay home. In a moment, the mystery that all of Hollywood is talking about.
The
The world's largest factory closeout sale is here. Factory reps will be on hand competing for your business with truckloads of new and discontinued merchandise, all at factory closeout prices. You'll save hundreds, even thousands of dollars on above-ground pools from just $9.99. Installation for just $99. Get factory special pricing on top brand spas and tanning beds. Billiard tables from $7.99 with free installation. Plus, get 6 months, no payment, no interest financing. This factory closeout sale will be conducted exclusively at Poolorama.
My kind of town, Chicago is.
And this is your kind of town car. Elegant, powerful. And right now, you'll also enjoy the luxury of savings with low 0.9% APR limited term financing or $1,500 cash back. Hurry before time runs out.
It's my kind of town.
And it's your kind of town car at your Chicagoland Lincoln dealer now.
Mr. Wallace.
Ann, you are just going to love these terms.
Your terms just aren't right.
I'm sorry.
I'm so sorry.
Mr. Beacon, your rates are a little high.
That's not good. What's the word I'm thinking of?
I think it's no.
Mm-hmm. No.
Want banks to compete over you? Come to LendingTree.com. Fill out one form and get up to 4 offers within hours.
Oh, what a lovely time.
When banks compete, you win at LendingTree.com.
My Dog Skip is America's #1 family film. USA Today calls it a rare breed, a family movie with a heart and a brain. It's 2 thumbs up for My Dog Skip, rated PG, now playing.
Girl, a Wix bedroom can change your love life.
It's Wix Furniture's big St. Patrick's Day weekend store-wide sale. Huge savings everywhere.
Eat your heart out, Fabio.
She's accused of trying to pay $7,000 to have her husband killed. Tonight, 49-year-old Sharon Voigt of North Suburban Golf is charged with soliciting a murder for hire. Cook County Sheriff's Police received a tip that Voigt was looking for a hitman. Instead, she met today with an undercover officer.
Our officer received $600 down payment with the offer of $7,000 to kill him. And she then gave a picture of this individual, gave him not only the picture, but also his car keys.
Police say that the mother of 4 wanted her husband killed because she was unhappy in her marriage. Her husband, Dr. Kerry Voigt, is a downtown-based oral surgeon. Informant John Christopher, who helped send more than a dozen Chicago officials to prison in the Operation Silver Shovel investigation, is going to prison himself. Today, a judge sentenced Christopher to 39 months for bankruptcy and tax crimes, which he committed while he was helping the government. A crime has Hollywood abuzz tonight, but despite the theft, the Oscars will go on, thanks to a Chicago company. The R.S. Owens Company is working around the clock to produce 55 new gold statues. They'll replace those stolen from a loading dock in Southern California over the past couple of days. With the Oscars just 9 days away now, the rush is on to make this second batch of the coveted statuettes. It's been a troubled year for the awards. 2 weeks ago, the Oscar ballots were lost in the mail.
It seems to be a kind of a Bermuda Triangle for Oscars.
Well, they have about 20 already at the Academy. So, but we're aiming to ship 55, but we'll be okay if we ship about 30 or 35.
Statues are very expensive. The trucking company will likely pay for these new Oscars. If they gave out Oscars for basketball, Ray Meyer's mantle would be full. It's already full, thanks to a 42-year tenure at DePaul. The team's return to the NCAA tournament brings back memories of the event's explosion more than 2 decades ago. Now 86 years old, he still follows the game with a passion, as Chris Bowden tells us.
Coach Ray is just like the rest of us during March Madness, but we hardly expected to walk into his suburban office and find him looking for his TV in his file cabinet. But that's part of the reason everyone loves the 6th all-time winningest college coach, because not only was he successful, but simple, and someone anyone could approach.
The people walking down the street, I've gone through life, I think my mother taught me that I treat people as I want to be treated.
The '79 Final Four featured 3 stars: Larry Bird, whose Indiana State team edged the Demons in the semis, Magic Johnson of eventual champ Michigan State, and Coach Ray on the brink of winning the national title for the first time since 1945. It caught the country's attention, and the tourney's popularity has now taken on Super Bowl-like proportions.
I didn't ever expect the basketball to rise to the heights that it has risen. You know, I remember when we played in gyms there were 5,000.
That magical run was followed by 3 straight shocking first-round defeats. Painful as they were, he forced himself to find a bright side, even though he sympathized with every coach since who's experienced the same.
When you lose a game, you go home and you wonder, why? Why did we lose? Could I have done something different? You play that game over and over. When you win, you're happy. So I think you learn a lot from losing. I used to kid Johnny Wood, and I thought he didn't lose very often, so he didn't learn like we did.
He says it's the relationships that stay with him, not any of the 724 victories that made him a winner 2 out of every 3 games. And the feeling was mutual last September when DePaul opened a state-of-the-art recreation center in his name.
He's a guy that really taught me at a stage of my life when I was learning to be a young man, what it was to be a young man, and how you take your attitude on and off the court to build yourself to have great character and work for anything that you want to achieve in life.
He made everything possible. He taught me how to play, how to think, and how to take care of myself. So without his instructions and his leadership, I would not have had such a great career.
Despite the 120,000 square foot honor, there's still a chill in the relationship between the school and the individual most identified with it over the firing 3 years ago of his successor, son Joey. But typical of Coach Ray, he doesn't see the bad feelings lasting forever.
Time heals all wounds. You always feel that the school has a right to do what they want to do and how they do it, and that's the big problem.
A year after retiring, wife Marge passed away. He still visits her final resting place each weekend. Always at her husband's side, Coach sometimes still expects her there.
We went together 6 years before we were married, and we were married 46, so we were together 52 years. There are a lot of memories. That's why I'll never move out of that house. There are too many memories in there.
Correspondence, his summer basketball camps 56 years running, and scheduling appearances keeps him busy these days. The lessons he taught helped him when he walked off the court for the final time 16 years ago, and is all too often lost in today's hoopla.
I once had a player that had the ball stolen from him, and that kid, when I got in the locker room, he was sobbing and crying. I put my arm around him. I told him that he won many, many games for DePaul. And I told him he can't live with that the rest of his life, that tomorrow was going to be Sunday whether we won or lost.
More than just a coach. You mentioned the chill in relations between the two. He said time heals. It seems like he feels a little bit better than he did just a few years ago about this separation.
He does. There were some really rough feelings between the university and the Meyer family. I think it's still that way on Joey's side, and Ray has been so long associated with it. But, you know, he's a very forgiving man, and I think that day will come.
And still a big fan. He's watching. What does he think?
Yep, he'll be down in Indianapolis for the final for his picks, Michigan State over Duke in that final. He's still alive.
All right. Thanks very much, Chris. Another Chicago basketball legend was a surprise guest of honor today in the nation's capital. Michael Jordan made a surprise visit during an assembly at a high school. He announced that his foundation, Jordan Fundamentals, will give grants to 4 teachers from across the country. Jordan said the grants are because teachers taught him a lot about making decisions and experiencing life. If you got outside, you experienced some cold temperatures again today, but Steve's telling us what, just a couple more left?
A couple more. I'll put it in basketball terms. Winter will not make a fast break out of town. It's going to stick around to the very end. As a matter of fact, take a look at what we expect to happen around here by this time tomorrow night. A little bit of snow already on the ground. How much are we talking about? Perhaps a coating to maybe an inch of snow in some places, so think about that if you have Saturday night plans. It won't ruin the night, but just a reminder that it really will be wintry outside. From 5:58 to 6:02, temperature still in the 30s, might be warmer than that during the day, and it won't be as cold.